Ridge, just after 3. All FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
And welcome to After Hours on a Friday evening. Jay Binkley, Blake Schneiders with you for the next couple of hours. We have the NCAA tournament rolling. Then right when we're getting off, we're at 9 o'clock. Kansas is supposed to be 8:45, I think. Missouri, 10 after 9. So anyway, they'll be on by the time you get home, Blake Schneiders, and you can enjoy the tournament there. For now, watching different games. Right now, I'm watching Iowa and Clemson right now. This is in the first. 15:30 left. Iowa up by 4 over Clemson. Northern Iowa, St. John starts in about 10 minutes. UCF, UCLA, 6:25. And then Queens University in Purdue at 6:35. And then you have at 8:25, Florida View A&M against Florida. Then old Cal Baptist, man. Cal Baptist and the Jayhawks. 8:45. Furman, UConn, 9 o'clock. Missouri in Miami from the Lou, 9:10 on True TV. By the way, Kansas gets the CBS nod. Missouri in Miami will get True TV. We'll keep you updated on the games throughout the night. It's going to be fun tonight. I got Josh Vernier coming on at 6:30. Of course, a week from now, fast forward, we'll be down for the watch party at Baloney's. The Royals watch party for the opening day game, right, against the Braves. That's next Friday. So next Friday at this time, Blake, it's on. It is on. The real stuff is on. Vern, one more hot stove show Thursday night. Then the real deal for Vern's On Deck show and the post-game show next Friday night. So can't wait for that all season long right here on 96.5 The Fan. I know that you've had to, wonder if you're going to be able to see the Royals, MLB.TV, if you've got the package, or if you're hoping cable gets it figured out. I did find out that Spectrum, by the way, that had FanDuel, and they're supposed to show the games on their network as well. They're still doing negotiations. I found this out before the show. They're still doing negotiations. They're still offering you, to watch MLB TV, but if you don't have that package, you can't get it. But they're still working on negotiations. And my question to them was, haven't you had time? Like, well, yeah, but Major League Baseball, you got a lot of negotiating to do. And I was like, well, you got a week, I guess.
I mean, if that's you should have had plenty of time before this, you'd think, but
well, there was a lot of time. This thing was kind of rushed. This thing was kind of rushed. I mean, I do understand that.
I just feel like with all these TV deals, especially baseball, it's not in it for the consumer. It's all about that green.
Yeah, it is, and it sucks too because baseball is really riding a wave. And, of course, they could have the lockout next year or not. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But they're riding a wave of popularity. They love it. Rob Manfred loves it, man. I mean, he was all smiles handing out the medals there at the WBC the other night. And, he's talking about this wave, and should we do it during the All-Star break? Do we want to wait 3 years? Do we want to do it in 4 years? The WBC, and have it again because of all the success, because it was a rating success. The highest rating game ever was the semifinal game with U.S. and Dominican, and that was beaten by the WBC final between USA and Venezuela. And I understand why it's beaten. That was on FS1, the semifinals. It was on regular Fox on the WBC finals. But they're riding a wave. They've had better attendance the last 3 years. Baseball is on a heater, man. They're on a heater right now. But you got to take advantage of it. One way to take advantage of it is make sure your consumers can watch the game. Fully educate them on what they need to do. Again, baseball's got the oldest demographics in all of professional sports. The 50 and older, they're number one in all the major sports in the older demographic is baseball. You've already made them switch to cashless to park. You've made them switch cashless to buying vendor food, and they don't particularly like to do that. You've already taken their tickets out of their hand. They have to use their phone now. You've already had them adapting to technology so much. Now you got to get on them to stream because their regular old cable service at this point doesn't have it. Hopefully it will. But again, that's their demographic. And there's not a whole lot of educating of the quote demographic. I mean, the younger people don't care. They can do this in their sleep as far as that's concerned. But the older demographic need some guidance going forward on that. Fox Sports PR just put this out, Blake, just a little bit ago. This afternoon, so it was a couple hours ago. Their tweet, take a bow, Royals Nation. Kansas City leads the country as top ratings market for the 2026 World Baseball Classic. Now, Kansas City was already number one. Like when they showed this a couple of weeks ago, they were most in tune.
Dominating.
All the players
it
from the
wasn't
Royals.
Close either.
The 7 Royals that were on the different teams. So the top-rated markets from the World Baseball Classic. Number 1, Kansas City, 9.28. Number 2, Philly, 8.16. Number 3, Boston, 6.74. Number 4, Milwaukee. Number 5, Pittsburgh. Number 6, San Diego. I haven't gotten to Baseball City, USA yet, right? Number 7, New York. Number 8, Fort Myers. 9, there we go, St. Louis. And 10, New Orleans. So once again, as they say here, take a bow, Kansas City. You showed the most interest in this, but of course, that's what's going to happen when your stars like Bobby Witt Jr. playing for USA and Sal Perez on Venezuela and Michael Garcia, not Mikel. It's Michael now. Michael Garcia and the 7 Royals that participated in the WBC. I absolutely loved it, but am I shocked that Kansas City's number 1? No.
Not at all.
I mean, someone should tell Derek Jeter before he does little digs on Kansas City with Michael Garcia. Like, well, this isn't like Kansas City, is it? Well, as I said last night, since Sporting's title, Royals win in 15. 3 Super Bowl titles. You've had the NFL draft. You're about to get the World Cup. You're one of the World Cup cities. Kansas City's just different at this point. You got major corporations moving to Kansas City. Got a new airport. This is a different town than it was with all the little jokes about flyover country and all this in the 90s and early 2000s. It's different, but there's Kansas City once again. Again, they're always highest rated in Olympics, too. Whenever they show, like, different events, they'll show, like, the city breakdown.
Yeah.
Kansas City's always watching. They love sports.
Well,
they're
and if
always there, and this just proves it. There's Kansas City right at the top with the bullet. Not even close. Kansas City ran away with this as far as the top-rated market. Not overall people, because obviously the population is different, but per capita, the top market.
Per viewership in capita, yeah. What I always think is cool is when they show that stat during the Olympics. I think this goes back to Kansas City always wants to root. They're just diehard homers because we love rooting for whether it's our home team or somebody on that team who's from the hometown. There's always some sort of Olympian from like Lee Summit or Olathe, or like there's always an Olympian from Kansas City in some sport. And then when it comes to, obviously we've got local guys here. We've got
we had a
Jensen.
bobsledder from Lee Summit.
That's what I'm saying. So it's always, I just the amount of pride, the hometown pride that Kansas City puts out,
it's insane.
It always jacks viewership up. And it's awesome to see.
It's just insane. And of course, with Carter Jensen being a Kansas City resident, I know what Cameron's close. St. Joe.
Yeah.
Very close. I mean, it's very close to the metro.
We'll count that for this.
It's where the Chiefs preseason, not preseason, but training camp.
Yeah.
Is that so? Yeah, but Carter's actually from the city. He's actually from KCMO. It's pretty good. Pretty good for that kind of power to be there and being a Kansas City guy, which that'll bring his Q rating up. Same with Noah. Diving into it. People, being locally, people from St. Joe coming down and watching the Royals, watching their hometown guy, and with Carter. But the Royals' excitement. That's why I can't wait to talk to Vern about the excitement for the Kansas City Royals going forward. There's expectations now on this team. There's big expectations on this team to return to the playoffs 2 years ago. Last year, they had a winning record. Wasn't quite good enough to get into the postseason. They've expanded the playoffs, but this is playoffs or bust. I think they have a legitimate chance to win this division. You never know about Minnesota. Minnesota's one of those teams that you count out, and then all of a sudden they're good. Or when you expect them to be good, they suck. But they've got a lot of issues, man. So I'm not really worried about the Twins. Cleveland's Cleveland. Yeah. Like I expected Cleveland to take a dive last year. They didn't. Especially when Clase and others, but they didn't. Detroit just melted down towards the end of the year. They did get in the playoffs, but they were sweating it. Yeah. They were sweating. And the White Sox are not the booty call White Sox anymore.
They are not.
For years, I was calling them the booty call because the Royals are 12-1 against them, and then 11-2 against them because they played 13 games. But they destroyed the White Sox. So. Yeah. If the Royals finished 7 games over 500, that was because of playing the White Sox 13 times. That was byproduct of that. They beat them up in their division, so they've got to find those division foes to beat up. But, yeah, absolutely, the Royals should be right in it at the end. A little bit worried about the pitching with Lugo because Lugo didn't look great in the WBC. And, of course, once he signed the contract last year, didn't look perfect down the stretch. But Chris Bubich, excited to see what he can do after that injury because he was a real surprise for the Royals last year. So excited to see if he can parlay that this year. I want to see what Noah Cameron can do the year number 2, see what he can do. And Waka's Waka, you're going to get, consistency out of Michael Waka. And I'm looking forward to these bats. See if Perez, what he's got left in the tank for this last year. Vinny was on a heater after that first month. Only two Royals finished in the top 16 with 100 ribs. 2, Perez and Vinny. Vinny just finished 1 behind Aaron Judge as far as RBI last year. I mean, he was red hot. Didn't see what Carter Jensen could do. But I'm excited to see what the Royals can do at the plate.
Well, I'm jazzed up, and I think this is why having the WBC and having so many Royals on it this year from all different countries, representing those countries, this is why it jazzed me up, Bink. Last year, like you said, it felt like everybody started real slow. Remember, Vinny started really, really bad in April. I mean, he was really bad. Salvador Perez, I remember the talks in the beginning half of the season. All the callers were, "Oh, Salvador is over the hump now. He's done. He's just not any good anymore. He can't do quite what he used to do." Those guys ended up being able to tear it up at the end of the season, and they finally found their stride. This year, all those guys get juiced and jazzed up from all the electricity that came with the WBC. So now these guys going into that and how they performed throughout that entire WBC, you had Michael, you had Bobby, you had Salvi, you had Vinny, you had Jack Caglione. Okay, you had Waka. I mean, you had a bunch of guys all over the place. Avila, by the way, for Team Venezuela. Yep. I'm excited to see what he's going to do this year. But you had all those guys performing now at top-tier levels in high-pressure situations for something that meant something. So now we're not going to have to play this ramp-up game. I think these boys are coming into this season now hot on the heels of that WBC, and I'm excited to see how they start this season.
I'm excited to see what they do. Over 80 wins the last 2 years, 82 and 80 last year. I guess that's a disappointment to them because they didn't make the postseason. 86 and 76 the year before. I'm excited about what they can do this year, and we'll talk to Vern about some of those question marks that they have with this team and can they overcome them. But, yes, you get real baseball starting next Friday. And, again, you can always listen to it right here on the radio. You might have your issues with TV from time to time or buying this streaming package or not, or whether the cable companies decide to show it, which they're supposed to at least show it this year. But you always get it on your radio. And we always get the text, too, about the TV and stuff. It's like, it's a radio company. we deal with the radio. And we always have your game for you. And we have the Royals on AM and FM. Both. So if you don't have FM, got it covered.
Yeah.
If you're in the remote areas and AM is the only thing that gets you, we got you.
We got your airways covered over here at 96.5 The Fan, baby.
We get you on 96.5 The Fan. We get you all over the place. So baseball with Vern at 6:30, talking some draft with Ron Kopp at 7 o'clock. We released our character concerns mock draft post free agency. Will it change? Absolutely, it changes. This is what these things do. And they really change before free agency. Then they kind of slow down because, running back early. Don't need one as much anymore. So obviously that's going to change. They do, Blake, and I know you're a former receiver yourself, they've still got to find somebody to catch the football. That's very important, is catching the football. And it's amazing when you see the national talking heads. And, I see this position teams need the most. What holes do they need? Chiefs have a couple, right? Edge rusher, wide receiver. Those are certifiable holes the team has. But they just gloss right over it, and the Chiefs are fine, right? They got Mahomes. He can throw it and catch it too.
I'll never forget, you said something great. It was, they got to catch the football, right?
It's very important.
Quick little story. I'll never forget, my dad was traveling at the airport, right? And he actually ended up being in the airport waiting next to Herm Edwards back when he was the coach, right? So he started chatting up Herm Edwards, and he was like, yeah, my son plays wide receiver. What's some advice you could give him? Yeah. He said, well, what position does your son play? He says, well, my dad was like, well, he plays wide receiver. And Herm Edwards says, tell you the only thing he needs to worry about, right? Catch the damn ball.
That's right.
I said, that's great advice. That's what the Chiefs need for this year. Just be able to have somebody that can catch the damn ball.
Instead of dropping it on 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 8, here comes punting again. You take Mahomes off the field again. Can't beat man coverage. Yeah, you have one receiver, 2, because Taekwon technically has here 2. But Rashee Rice, he's last year of his deal. I don't know whether they're going to pony up for Rashee Rice or if they even want to at this point because you can't put a full season together, and that's extremely disappointing because I really, really like what he can do with this team. But
contract year for him this year.
It is.
That's what it is.
It's a contract year, but you still got Worthy, and you need somebody else. Like you need somebody else. And you know what? It's not through free agency. It's not Alec Pierce for $29 million that he got to stay home in Indy and could have got more had he gone elsewhere. For a guy that's never caught 50 catches in the NFL, that's the going rate. Juwan Jennings thinks the reason he hasn't signed yet is one of the best receivers. He wants too much money. That's why he's still sitting there. I mean, the projections were about $22 million a year for him, former 7th-round pick. You know, teams are kind of backing off it a little bit, but we know what he could do. We've seen it in the Super Bowl when he was with the Niners, so we know exactly what he could do. But, again, you're paying way too much money if that's the direction you're going to go. Outside of drafting or finding a way to make a trade that makes sense for the team, now they have more picks. Before they didn't have more picks. Now they have up to 9 picks now. They did have 6. Now they've got 9. So they've got room to play with. And about $9 million under the cap. That obviously went down a bit with all the signings and free agency. They made room, you know, with cutting Dana and Mahomes restructuring. And Veach has always talked about $60 million convertible contracts because Chris Jones still has a convertible contract as well that they can work. They can find other ways to get money and play the game.
Well, and Veach always does. Well, whatever accountants he's got working on all these contract constructions, he always finds money when everybody else thinks that there is no money to find. He's always like, "Oh, you guys didn't think I could find $25 million just lying around? Well, guess what? Yeah. Boom, there it is."
Yeah. From the 816, nothing against the TV guys, but I could listen to Denny read the phone book. Go Avs, Blues suck. He's not a Blues fan at all. He's an Avs fan, which is fine. He's back and forth with hockey with me, with the texter. But he's right. I can listen to Denny read a phone book. I think they do a great job on the radio.
When you're a Hall of Fame legendary announcer, of course, you better be able to. I love Eisenberg as well. I love the energy Eisenberg brings.
I do too. I think they do a great job. Steve Stewart, you know, on that radio network as well. I just think they do a tremendous job covering the game. So we always have you covered. That's the bottom line. You always can have the game in your car, on your app, wherever you want on 96.5. So there you go.
We're
you covered.
We're like Glad Rap here at 96.5. We always got you covered.
We got you covered. That's right. We got you covered. Vern at 6:30 coming up next, though. I'll update some scores here for you, what happened earlier today and what to look forward to tonight with the NCAA tournament. By the way, Miami of Ohio. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Miami of Ohio, the Darlings, who did, question was, were they going to make the tournament? They went to the first 4. They won, feeling good about themselves. That turned into the Homer Simpson meme. You walk through the bushes and you turn right around. So that's what Miami. But at least they got a tournament win. At least they got a tournament win in the first 4. But we'll update you on the scores next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems. Call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
It's March, and that means there's no better time to start betting with Circa Sports. It doesn't matter how you're planning on betting the mayhem. Picking individual games, futures to make it through the bracket, props on your favorite players, or more. Circa Sports has you covered. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
If you're looking for new work, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is seeking motivated candidates to add value to their business and, of course, their clients. They give top pay in the industry. They have health, vision, dental insurance, pay time off, and of course, advancement opportunities. Work with a great local company who wants to see you grow with them. Go to GannAsphalt.com and find out how this new career opportunity could work out for you. Gann Asphalt, one contractor, all things parking lot.
Baseball is back. Opening night is one exclusive game, and it's live on Netflix. On Wednesday, March 25th, the New York Yankees, led by seven-time All-Star Aaron Judge, head to the Bay Area to face Rafael Devers and the San Francisco Giants. A brand new way to watch Major League Baseball, and it all starts here. MLB opening night, Yankees vs. Giants, live on Netflix, Wednesday, March 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Tonight, conditions will be clear with a low of 57.
Weather brought to you by Staples. From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in-store and online. Staples. That was easy.
Kansas City, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch all your favorite shows right from your phone, computer, or tablet. Every day, we stream the shows live on YouTube, plus clips from the biggest moments and biggest guests. Hit that subscribe.
Hello, hello.
96.5 The Fan goes right to the top of your feed. In your
You got me, Vern?
or on your computer. We are everywhere. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
And welcome back to After Hours on 96.5 Fan. Jay Binkley, Blake Sneeders producing the operation. Blake, here you go. Some more ratings from March Madness. CBS and TNT Sports score record-setting viewership for the first four. Most watched first four was 7.5 million viewers. Miami of Ohio, the darling, right? The darling that got spanked today, versus SMU's the most watched first four.
Yes, sir.
With 2.8 million viewers. Again, that was kind of an interest story. People were interested in Miami of Ohio, but today they crashed and burned, my friend. As far as the tournament scores go, tournament coverage brought to you by Busey Bank, the official bank of the Big 12. As far as games that have already been finalized today, Arizona 92-58 over Long Island University in a 116 matchup. Iowa State 108-74. An injury, too, occurred in this one as well. Looks like Joshua Jefferson.
Football League on ESPN is back.
We can't do this 2 weeks in a row, Bink. Come on, man.
Well, yeah, you know what? I got to do scores, man. Got to do scores. You got to pipe my system down or something, but I got to do scores, man. And this stupid sound likes to play, doesn't it?
ESPN's are trying to take over our feed.
He tries to take over the world. But as far as the other scores are concerned, Virginia 82, Wright State 73, Bama, the Tide roll 90-70 over Hofstra, Texas Tech 91, Akron 71, Tennessee 78, 56, Miami of Ohio. So Miami of Ohio makes a quick exit, but they did get that tournament victory. Nebraska got their first tournament victory yesterday. Can you believe that? First ever NCAA tournament victory. if you had that one on your scorecard. Kentucky beat Santa Clara, and this one had to go to OT. Locked in on this game this afternoon. Kentucky wins 89-84 over Santa Clara. Utah State beats Villanova 86-76, and their coach was joking around that he was going to fire his staff. I think he was joking at halftime. I think he was joking. Who knows if he really was. Iowa currently leads Clemson 22-14 with about 4:30 left in the first half. Northern Iowa St. John's should start right about now over on CBS. Central Florida UCLA tonight 6:31 on TBS. Queens and Purdue at 6:35. Prairie View A&M in Florida at 8:25 on TNT. Cal Baptist and Kansas at 8:45 from San Diego. That game's over on CBS. Furman and UConn, TBS at 9. And Missouri at Miami. It's not at Miami, but Missouri in St. Louis to face the 7th-seeded Miami Hurricanes. Missouri's the 10th seed in that one. But the darling goes down, man. Miami, Ohio. You got to find these people to root for. And did you find this out today, Blake? Did you? Because that was yesterday's running joke is everybody you're going to run across is, oh, man, my brackets are busted. They're completely busted. Did you hear that at least 5-10 times today?
I didn't.
Wow.
I don't live in my workplace is not super, like they all love the Chiefs and stuff. They're not like super sports oriented.
Yeah, you can talk Chiefs all day long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so I was kind of on an island with any of the basketball talk.
A lot of people like talking about the brackets or who they had out now. And it's like, you hear this, your family, friends, whatever. And honestly, you don't care. Like you really don't. The best way to do it's like, I really don't care about your brackets. Just like fantasy football, when people are talking about their fantasy football lineups, unless they really need your help or something like that. But traditionally, you don't care because you get the same issues they do.
Yeah, that's true.
You really don't care.
I was on the waiver wire for 2 hours last night, all right?
People don't care about your brackets. They don't care about your fantasy football team. You do, but they do not.
When people say, hey, oh man, my bracket was busted, I'm like, good, another one out, another one down.
This is what happens this time of year.
Less
Brackets get
competition.
busted. Oh, there's another thing, too, by the way. This is weather-wise. The earliest day, they've been measuring weather since 1888. The warmest day so far that we've ever had hit 90 degrees today. The previous record is on March 21st. Today's March 20th. That was back in 1907. It hit 91. So this would be the earliest over 90 degrees as it hit 90 degrees today on March 20th. So there is a record, Blake. There's a record today with the warm temperatures in Kansas City. Not that you really want to hear that at this point, because is that a sign for things to go? It's already over 100 degrees in Arizona. Like the Royals have moved in Major League Baseball in Arizona, they've moved their games back tonight and everything else later on because of the heat that they're having out in Arizona. But we had the little false spring earlier on where all of a sudden it got cold and snowed a little bit, spit a little bit last weekend. So the week started off like crap, and it ends with people on the patio having brews.
Hell yeah, it
in
does.
Their shorts and T-shirts.
Hell yeah, it does, and I can't wait. I'm going to get out. I got nothing planned for this weekend. I've got a Blackstone that needs to be assembled on my back patio.
Oh, there you go.
And we're going to have ourselves a good old hot weekend.
There you go. Well, you have to have fun. You have to find a way to have fun. We're going to take a timeout. Got Josh Vernier talking Kansas City Royals baseball, who open next Friday night. We'll do that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993.
Check. 1, 2, Vern, can you hear me?
Sports 96.5, The Fan.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. The Subaru A Lot to Love event.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Man, your yard looks great. Who does that for you, Gunther? It's Gunter, no H. You sure it's not Gunther? Listen, we've been with Gunter for years. They take care of our lawn with 7 annual applications. We're weed-free and have a lusher, thick, green lawn. Trust me, it's Gunter.
No matter how you say it, we've been helping Kansas City homeowners improve their yards for decades. For greener, thicker lawns, it's Gunter.
I'm pretty sure it's Gunther. I'm pretty sure it's not.
The playoff push is here. NBA teams are deep in the stretch run, and Fanatics Sportsbook is ready for every moment. Here's the deal. You guys have heard me talk about Fan Cash, and remember, every time you bet with Fanatics Sportsbook, you're earning up to 10% Fan Cash, win or lose. So even if your bet misses, you're still stacking Fan Cash. Fan Cash unlocks value you can't get at other sportsbooks, like more bets, unlimited profit boosts for your favorite player props, authentic NBA gear, game tickets, and access to exclusive Fanatics events like Fanatics Fest in New York City. But that's not their only play. The good times roll on with Fanatics Fair Play, an injury protection policy that turns losses into wins. That's right. If you love player props, your legs are protected across the entire first half of every game if an injury takes place. If your guy goes down, you're getting your money back or your parlay plays on. Make the switch to the sportsbook that gives you more to play with. Winning hits different here.
Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again, so call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEBNOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Welcome back to After Hours in the record heat, the earliest 90-degree day in history. You know, and tomorrow we can even push that even further. The record's 91 degrees on 3/21 back in 1907, if you keep track of those kind of things. But I do. Jay Binkley, Blake Sneeders with you. Time to talk some Royals baseball now, who start the season next Friday night in Atlanta, Georgia. And joining us now, the greatest pre- and post-game host of all time, anywhere. Just ask me or him. Josh Vernier. What's up, Vern?
Bink, I'm always interested in that as far as whether or not the temperature set a new all-time high, all-time low. I never liked watching the news as a kid, but I always found that interesting.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, all right, the hottest it ever was on this day was back in 1888.
Yeah.
Well, that's happening today, and I guess that's pretty cool.
It's a record, Vern. National Weather Service put it out there. It's like on 3/21, it got to 91 degrees. We're going to test that tomorrow and have a further high. Of course, you've been in Arizona where it's been damn hot. I mean, it's been over 100 degrees there in Arizona. They've moved all these games to late.
Are you now claiming that the cold is over? Have you made that official?
I have not. Because we got a little taste of it, didn't we, earlier this week?
Right, but I'm asking now that that's in the rearview mirror, are you ready to plant the flag and say winter is over?
No, I'm not, because I've been at Kauffman Stadium with you on Shohei Ohtani's debut when he was with the Angels to pitch, and you had national media from all over the world basically at that point, and it was called off because it was 24 degrees in April?
I also remember when they were facing the Rays one time.
In the snow.
It was snowing. Yeah, the game was snowed out, and Irvin Santana was like his first time ever in snow. He's taking pictures of it. Yeah, it's probably a wise move.
Yeah, not going to do it.
That,
not going to do it.
Move.
But I do pay attention at this age now, Vern. It's much different than when we started. But I pay attention to that aches and pain meter. When they say, well, if the aches and pains, it's going to be up because of the temperature dropping right. So I do pay attention. As you get older, you do pay attention to the aches and pains meter, right?
Well, especially you, whether it's too hot, too cold, you're feeling everything.
Yeah. Oh, last night, Vern, speaking of baseball, I was talking about all the great new food items at the Major League Baseball. Because, baseball, Major League Baseball is really caught up with minor league baseball because that's where you used to have to go to get all the fun items. Well, now it's all over Major League Baseball, and the Diamondbacks have a ton of items. It's crazy. But the 999 challenge.
It's because it's 200 degrees in the summer and they got to get you outside.
It's true. But the 999.
Drive to the ballpark.
It's true. But the 999 challenge has been out. The Philadelphia's done it. The Giants do it. And now the Mets are doing it. The 999 challenge. You're familiar with that, aren't you, Vern?
Of course, 9 hot dogs, 9 beers, 9 innings. Yeah.
Which you have to go.
I've never tried it.
Yeah, you have to go a little bit faster.
I don't think
now.
I could do the hot dog part
because
the beers I could, but I'd be fighting somebody at the end of it.
But here's the thing, though, Vern. So I'm looking at the box that the Mets have, and it's $60 to buy this box. Now, here's the thing: you're buying
with
it
9 of everything.
Yeah, everything's in this box. Like I don't know,
$60, 9 beers.
Yeah, but the thing is. But you're supposed to do
the hot dogs away.
But you're supposed to do one per inning. Can you imagine the shape those dogs are in by the 9th inning, or that beer, how warm it is by the 9th? Think about if it's like you're out in Arizona. Well, you're in New York, but it still gets hot. But you're out there on a 95-degree day, and all of a sudden your beer's getting hot.
Well, and normally when you get a hot dog, you eat it so fast you don't look at it. That 4th hot dog, you're going to be staring at it, wondering what part you're eating.
It's a great
you'll gross
home
yourself
game.
right out.
Yeah, it's a great home game to play. And the one thing, too, is I was reading about it, and they said these hot dogs are miniature ones, too. It's like, man, it's not even a full dog. It looks like a pig in a blanket.
I could do it then.
Yeah, I think you could. And here's the deal.
I can eat $60 worth of food in 9 innings, so of course I can do it. They're not hooking you up. That's not how it works at ballparks. You're overpaying.
And these beers aren't 12 ounces either, Vern. They're like over 3.5 ounces or something. I mean,
it's like
honestly,
a flight of beers, I'm guessing.
You're drinking. You're essentially drinking 3 beers for 9 innings. That's an easy thing to do. That's why you got to play the home game. If you want to be real about this, put the 12 Coors Lights out or 9 Coors Lights out there. Hope there's not extras.
And have a buddy there that keeps track of it and post it on social media so we can keep track with you.
Like Dusty. Have Dusty with you.
Right. Occasionally someone will try and claim that they did it on the post-game show, and unless there's someone in the car with them, I ain't buying it because that's a pretty bold claim if you do it right. If it's 9 real dogs, 9 big old beers. Yeah, you're rolling out of the ball. I mean, someone has you in a wheelbarrow walking out of that place.
Hey, Vern and Big, I got a quick question for you guys because I feel like I've been told 2 separate rules for this, so I want to know what your guys' official take is.
Okay.
Do you guys stick to the point that it has to be 9 beers in 9 innings no matter what? Or is it 1 beer, 1 dog per 9 innings?
Right. It's like Uno. Everyone has their own rules. I lean towards the former where, listen, by the time this game's over and someone's shaking hands, you need to have consumed 9 beers and 9 dogs. I don't care if you double up or go. Because honestly, Bink, I think the move is go bananas in the first 2 innings. I mean, try to horse down as much as you can. Right?
That's my take. Is if I can slug 3 dogs and 3 beers before the 3rd inning, or by the 2nd inning, I'm feeling good. It's a hot start.
I would count it because you don't want the beer to get hot. So you're like, exactly. I need to drink this cold beer now and eat these dogs. Can you imagine Joey Chestnut in this thing? Like he would laugh at this thing. I mean,
it'd be over in the 1st inning.
Well, I don't know. Does he drink? Is he a drinker?
I don't know if he does or not.
He seems to be. I mean, who knows what's going on with him? But
dude, he eats 70 hot dogs
like
in
he
10
would
minutes.
Get drunk quickly. He doesn't seem to be.
I don't know, man.
Someone that can put him away.
I don't know. He eats 70 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Just imagine.
I bet he's soft. I bet you we could all. Not that it's cool to drink a lot, but I bet we could all handle that dude.
You call him Joey Chestnut soft?
Soft when it comes to bellying up at the bar. Yeah.
Damn it, Vern. You can't do
that. I hope he's listening. I hope
Call him Joey Chestnut, softer than baby.
Sure, you're going to have him on in a few weeks.
Not till the 4th, Vern. Not till the 4th. Not till tradition. But
your Mount Rushmore athlete, Joey Chestnut.
That's right. He is, man. He's unbelievable. But anyway, that 999 challenge.
Yeah.
But teams are finding a way, and you know what parlays into what baseball's doing. I mean, the Fox Sports just came out. Well, Kansas City, they put it out about a week or so ago when all the games weren't finished. KC was the top market of all the markets, and they
Kansas
did tonight.
City's always the top market for everything.
I know they are. In
when
Kansas
it comes
City,
to television.
Out of the whole WBC, Kansas City's number one with a bullet. It's not even really close. Philly was number 2, and it's amazing. But Kansas City would watch curling. Honestly, they're probably high in the curling ratings. They watch everything.
I guarantee they are.
But yeah, they are. But it shows you how much they want to parlay baseball. And if they have a lockout, that's not good because right now things are going extremely well for Major League Baseball. Rob Manfred couldn't even take a smile off his face when he's handing out the medals there at the WBC at the finals. Yeah, I mean, attendance is up for 3 straight years. I mean, they are capitalizing on the WBC. Now they're talking about, maybe doing it the Midsummer Classic that time, or maybe 3 years or 4 years. So I think they'd run into the same problems with pitch limits.
Not only that, but I don't think you would get the amount of big names willing to sacrifice a week or 2 of rest, which normally comes with the All-Star break, a week of rest for the All-Star break, or if you have this World Baseball Classic and you're telling me I could go play more and sure, represent my country, that would be nice, or I can take 2 weeks off and be as fresh as I've been in months for the home stretch as I get ready for the playoff push, especially if I have arbitration coming up or I'm a pending free agent. Man, I got to make this money. Like, Tarek Skubal doesn't even make 1 start if you do this at the All-Star break, in my opinion. The fact that he did is a reflection of the competition you're getting in the World Baseball Classic. Can't be matched in spring training. And like we talk about so much, these guys show up in shape. It's not as if it's the olden days where dudes needed spring training to get into baseball shape. So the fact that you can ramp up the competition in the World Baseball Classic in spring, guys are going to flock in droves to that, especially when they see the party that it is. I have a tough time believing that the big names, instead of resting for weeks before that postseason push, would do that. I don't buy it.
I kind of like subscribe to the thing broke, don't fix it. Everybody loved watching it. It was fun to watch.
Great point. Yes.
But you get to the All-Star game, and all of a sudden you have the teams chiming in again, saying, well, we need it for the second half push, and we want a pitch limit. I think they're running into the same issues they would run into at the beginning of the season.
Look at the calendar, Bink. I mean, you know better than anybody the sports calendar. Man, the WBC was perfect, right? From the NFL's free agency or whatever, tampering, whatever you guys call it, from the
legal
end of
tampering, Vern.
Legal tampering. When that started until March Madness, the World Baseball Classic kind of fit perfectly in between.
It's great. And then we get the World Cup coming up, get the draft coming up, and get baseball starting next Friday. It is unbelievable. What's that? Go ahead and say.
No, never.
Well, say something. What are you going to say?
Like, I'm excited for the city, but are you excited to sit down and watch the soccer matches between 2 teams that you don't really know anything about? USA, no doubt. I'm with you. I'll be excited for that. But
I'm excited to drink beer with the Netherlands people.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
they'll be
where
up north.
I'm excited for our city to
watch
be on
Team
display.
USA. I'll watch all the Team USA games.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
that's what I thought. I didn't know if you were sitting here acting like.
No, I'm excited for the city and all the money that it brings into the city. Of course. Vern, as far as the Royals,
it better be a lot of money with all the road work. Oh my God, it's driving me nuts, man. This stuff better look nice. People better say it looks nice.
They have closed every damn road. So many tours. You go 635 up north. They better fix that pretty soon because they're going to have a team right there because it's right by where the Netherlands are going to be. They better fix that, but they've got it closed off. Yeah, it's just everywhere.
I know
construction drives me nuts, just like you. All right, Vern. As far as one thing I do like always is the question marks and exclamation marks when it comes to Kansas City Royals. Like Bobby Witt Jr., he's an exclamation mark, right? You know what you're going to get. And Sal Perez, exclamation mark, you know exactly. Waka, same type of situation. I could even throw Vinny on that now. I think Vinny's now an exclamation mark, not a question mark at all.
Michael
Garcia.
There, that's right.
Someone chimed in the other night and said Vern was calling Michael, and I said, I was listening to Vern. He called them both.
Yeah.
he covered all the bases.
Listening to Vinny. Vinny calls him Michael. Listen, I respect it. I'll do my best.
It's tough,
not
man.
Not doing it to disrespect him.
It's tough.
That's for sure, yeah.
It's tough that he never mentioned anybody that covers him on a daily basis.
Right. But kudos to him, and I think that shows it's just a sneak peek into what has been accomplished by this young man over the past 12 months to not only prove to yourself that you're an everyday big leaguer, but to prove to yourself that you're an all-star, that you're a gold glover, that you're a guy that can hit at the top of the lineup, that you're the type of guy that an organization will invest $100 million into, that in a tournament that featured every single MVP, both American League and National League, for each of the last 5 seasons. In that tournament, Michael, he was the MVP. So for him to say, yeah, while we're at it, I'm also finding my voice and my confidence enough to say, how about you say it the way that I want you to say it? And I prefer it to be pronounced Michael. And you know, that same thing. Look at Salvador Perez. Early on in his career, and as he progressed, he became a U.S. citizen, wanted his name pronounced Perez. So, maybe the same thing's happening with Garcia, but I'm just so very happy that he's found that type of confidence and married it with this maturation. He's a guy that by the end of the season could rival Jose Ramirez as the best third baseman in baseball.
Herrera was like that too, where he taught himself the language and he really wanted to.
He didn't want Kelvin anymore. He wanted Kelvin.
Yeah, he wanted you to interview him like that because he was proud of what he did. It was good to see. But speaking of
work hard to learn a second language.
No, they do. But speaking of Garcia, where do you put him at here? Because he didn't start on opening day last year, and clearly we saw what kind of player he was during the season. I call him the Lost Royal because everybody's talking Bobby and Vinny and Sal and what Cags can do and all this. And then there's just Garcia right there that's about as consistent as anybody, an all-star and a gold glover. And, oh, by the way, the WBC team MVP for Venezuela. So is he still a question mark, or is he kind of –
I don't think so.
You don't think
I
so?
think the only way he's a question mark is if you're burned by somebody in the past. And I don't know who that would be because, you know, what we saw from Garcia, not just – last year, but what we saw at the tail end of 2023, what we saw in the postseason in 2024, obviously the World Baseball Classic, I just don't know what the question would be. Because even when the bat slumps, whenever it does, this is a guy that almost hit 300 last season, but even if the bat slumps for a while, the glove, the IQ, the base running, he could still advance a runner, right? Even if he's not running into home runs, even if he's not putting up at 800 OPS, he's still a winning ball player every time he takes the field. So, to me, he's an exclamation point. You mentioned Q sitting him last year on opening day. He told me on the show the other night, after hitting a home run in Game 2, he almost flipped the bat right at Q as he was walking towards first base.
Great stuff, Vern. We're up against it here, but just real quick, the rotation. Obviously, Waka is going to be Michael Waka. I think that you know exactly what he's going to be. I guess the guys we're not 100% sure on is Chris Bubich. Can he follow it up from last year? Can Noah Cameron step up in the year number 2 and be that arm in the rotation for the Royals?
To me,
Lugo's the big concern.
Yeah, concern, question mark. Yeah, call it however you see it. Lugo to me is the wild card of this team. To me, if you get 2024 Seth Lugo, this team should win the division. I mean, this team should win the division to begin with. But if you get that Seth Lugo, you can go toe to toe with any team in the American League with a Reagan's Lugo 1-2, and then an offense that features Bobby, Michael, Salvi, Vinny, you know the names. I would say that Lugo's a question mark / exclamation point that'll ultimately decide where this team finishes in 26. Noah Cameron's a question mark just because he's done it once in his career. I don't know what the game could throw his way that he hasn't seen or didn't see last year. He was quite impressive. I'm not concerned about anybody in this rotation. But to your point, yeah, Reagan's exclamation point, Waka, you know what you're going to get. To me, I think I'm fairly confident you're going to get another good year. If healthy, you're going to get a good year out of Kris Bubic. And prior to that Tommy John surgery in 2023, he was never banged up. You remember him with those Matheny teams. He was the Bulldog. So I'm hoping the Bulldog is back because he could be back in the Midsummer Classic, if so.
Good stuff, Vern. Always good stuff. Can't wait till next Friday when you're in action. You have the Hot Stove Show on Thursday, kind of getting you ready for the season that begins in Atlanta. Then, of course, the home opener against the Twins coming up. So wish you a good luck this season, Vern. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Royals, 2 straight years of at least 80 wins. So let's get another one.
Yeah, and Annie Rogers put out earlier today the rotation will have Kris Bubic pitching the home opener against the Minnesota Twins.
So Bubic pitches the opener. So it's Reagan's
Lugo, Waka,
Bubic, Cameron. Okay. So Annie put that out today. I know you had her on last night on your Hot Stove Show. If anybody wants to go listen to it on the podcast page. Anyway, thanks a lot, Vern.
Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, buddy. Take care. There you go, our Royals insider, Josh Vernier. We'll be back real quick because I do want to ask you if you can do this challenge. I want to ask you a quick question before we get to Ron Kopp talking NFL draft at 7.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Right now, FanDuel is dropping bonus bets into everybody's account for the tournament. All you have to do is opt in to claim your bonus. Use your FanDuel bonus bets on your bracket picks, money lines, spreads, totals, game props, or even a same-game parlay. But don't wait. These bonus bets are only available for a limited time. March basketball is here, and what better way to celebrate it than with bonus bets with our friends at FanDuel? So make sure that you visit FanDuel.com/local to opt in for bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/local to learn more about bonus bets for the tournament. So whether you think Kansas has a chance to make it all the way to the Final Four, or maybe you think that Missouri has a chance to make it to the second weekend, FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app and the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. Expires 7 days receipt. 21 and present in Missouri. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. Expires 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $500 otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
Sex, intimacy, love. These 3 things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
It's about time delivery worked on your schedule. Same day, next day, or scheduled in advance. However you plan it, the Home Depot delivers the whole job. From drywall to doors, plumbing to paint, we'll get it there when you need it. Because on the job site, timing is everything. You order, we deliver. It's that easy. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Blake Sneeders producing the operation. A lot of stuff to get through tonight. Obviously, the NCAA tournament. We'll still talk some Royals. Have Ron Kopp talking some Chiefs draft coming up. But as Vern mentioned, Aaron Rodgers put at from MLB.com. Of course, you know Cole Reagan's going opening day. Then Michael Wacha and Seth Lugo, Chris Bubich for the home opener, followed by Noah Cameron. We'll get more into the rotation here in a bit. During the break, you Googled this Mets box.
Yes, I did.
Isn't it kind of silly buying the $9.99 box before the game, especially if you're going to play by the rules? Because by the ninth inning, first of all, the dogs are going to be
chili dogs is what they'll be.
And the beer is going to be extremely warm at that point.
Yep.
But these beers aren't very big. The hot dogs aren't very big. It's kind of a joke, to be honest with you.
So the hot dogs look like, and maybe the younger folks will know, and some of the people who are parents out there will know, when you bought Lunchables back in the day, and one of them was the hot dog pack that you'd go to lunch with and kids at school, they'd be like, oh, you got the hot dog pack? Man, that's awesome. That's about the size of these hot dogs that the Mets are selling. They're the same size hot dogs that you get in a Lunchables hot dog pack. They're about the length of my middle finger. And it looks like you could pound all of those in the first inning, and then they'll give you a thimble full of beer. So I don't know if they made this. What is this, a hot dog pack for ants? What is this?
The real one, of course, we know, Blake. You do it. You play the home game.
Of course.
And you do it right. You keep the beer cold in the cooler or in the fridge. You pull out the hot dogs whenever you want to. But
I got them on the stove.
You do it you play the home version. It's a lot cheaper, too.
It's way cheaper. Saving probably $65, $70.
But I understand why these teams do it. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
I mean, it's definitely it's an interesting promotion, but honestly, it looks like a kid's meal if the beer wasn't there.
True, it does. Anyway, we'll get back to some basketball scores, and we'll talk about that Royals rotation. But coming up next, Ron Kopp, who covers, matter of fact, he was at the Shrine Bowl. This guy's all over it. We'll talk to him about the upcoming NFL draft next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
My car smells fresh, so fresh, always so fresh every day. My car smells fresh, so fresh, like I cleaned it yesterday. Got that Febreze car on the vents, living life with that just clean freshness. Febreze car, if you know, you know. Up to 40, there's a scent on low. My car smells fresh, so fresh, always so fresh every day. My car smells fresh, so fresh, like I cleaned it yesterday. That's right, breathe happy Febreze, la 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 la.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Coming up tomorrow in the big college basketball tournament, Arkansas, an 11.5-point favorite against High Point. High Point coming off the upset of Wisconsin. The total of the game, a sky-high 168.5. And that leads me to want to take the points with High Point. We just saw High Point score 83 points against Wisconsin. Arkansas does have an NBA caliber player in its backcourt. Arkansas is really good. Arkansas should be the favorite, but I don't like Arkansas's defense, and I certainly think High Point can score enough to stay in this game. So on Saturday, High Point plus 11.5 against Arkansas. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today, and please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
CertaPro Painters recently painted my home and exceeded my expectations. I booked a free estimate, reviewed a detailed proposal, and scheduled my project on the spot. When you choose CertaPro Painters, you're partnering with trusted local professionals with over 70,000 five-star reviews. Ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in KC. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Vern's Hot Stove Show, Thursday nights starting at 6, right here on 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back. Jay Binkley, Blake Sneeder's 7 o'clock hour, after hours. From the 913, how in the hell do we hear the Royals game, Bink? Well, you know the answer to that. You're being sarcastic, but you know you can hear it right here. This very place you're listening to this. You can hear the Kansas City Royals next Friday night. They'll be on. We won't be. They will be. And then in April, when they're off or play in the afternoon, we've got 7 draft specials leading up to the NFL draft. And we'll have the draft opening night live for you. 6 hours at a soon-to-be-released place. Then we'll be going. We'll have live coverage rounds 4 through 7 Saturday. A wrap-up show for 3 hours Sunday morning. A wrap-up show on Monday night. Right here on 96.5 The Fan. So plenty of draft. It'll be 3-hour specials each week, one a week, up until we get to the draft so we can all talk about the draft and see what you have to do. We put out the mock draft earlier today. Our phone number, 586-7965. J Southland Tow Service text line 913-586-7965 as well. So we will definitely have you covered for it. We put out the, we'll get to it in just a second. In another segment, we'll talk about the release to mock today. It's fun how you put it out there and you let people guess or like it or not like it. Most of the time people hate it. Actually, I think most people don't answer, but the ones that don't like it do. You know, it's like going to a restaurant. You go to a restaurant and had bad service, you're going to tell everybody. You have good service, you're not going to tell anybody. Isn't that kind of the way it works?
That's exactly how it works. That's why I don't trust Yelp reviews or Google reviews, because the ones that are going to review it are only the ones who either just had such a terrible experience. All the good ones you never hear about.
Well, I think it's funny. They put out on the Twitter account for 965, like, hey, go ahead and grade this or whatever. But, you know, of course it's going to come with, I give it a C+, or I give it a D, or okay, what's yours? What's yours? That's always my thing. What's yours?
Yeah.
I'll grade yours.
Show us your show.
I'll grade yours.
Yeah.
I'll grade yours. And we'll talk about some of the selections that you had.
Yeah, it's like in high school. Switch papers with your partner there, and you guys grade each other's papers. Yeah. Well, I'm still waiting on your guys' papers.
Chad Ryder out at NFL.com. Hey, he's joined the show. He's the one that wrote the bios for NFL.com at the Combine, all 319 bios. He did a 4-round that he just put out today, and he had Caleb Downs at pick 9, and he had pick 26. He had the Chiefs trading up for Caden Proctor, the left tackle at Alabama. So I like the picks, but again, it brings up the question, who's going to catch the football? That's a very important question as far as that's concerned. It's just amazing, the national people that look at it and they think we're good. That's you're assuming Rashee Rice going to play all the games. And that's one hell of an assumption, right? You're going to assume that everything is fine with Xavier Worthy and he's going to take right off, because he did not take right off last year. He was hurt on play 3 when Travis Kelce ran over him in Brazil. Game 1, play 3. And then he missed 3 games. So that's not 100% reliable. I just think they got to rebuild this wide receiver room, and obviously going through the draft's one of the better ways you can do it. And Andy Reid, you got to teach the old dog new tricks, because rookie wide receivers, we know, don't have the best track record with Andy Reid. So either draft somebody or make a trade and still draft at least 2 receivers, in the draft. Make a trade, make an Orlando Brown type move where they were stuck a couple years ago because they didn't have a left tackle, because all left tackles at the end of the first round ended up being guards in the National Football League or out of it, and the Chiefs knew it, and they knew they had to make a deal for a left tackle. Love them or hate them, you got Orlando Brown, but they didn't have a left tackle, and they had to do something after what happened against the Bucs in the Super Bowl. So they had to make a move and do it. So we are curious about that and how it'll go.
That brings me to my question. All this talk about the Chiefs, the Chiefs might go after a tackle. They might go after a tackle. They're going O-lineman at pick number 9. And we all know that teams like to fluff up or give out kind of faux picks, like get teams thinking one way so they can go another way. But when you're sitting at pick number 9, would they be doing that so they could solidify a wide receiver? Are they trying to get another team to jump there, or are they so close to the top that it wouldn't really matter in this scenario?
Well, they do like to do smoke screens. They 100% like to do smoke screens. And one of the smoke screens is kind of gone now, because everybody and their mom had them drafting Jeremiah Love.
True.
And like everybody did. I do the 25 top mocks, the freshest mocks that just came out every week. And he was always like 13 to 14 out of 25. He was Jeremiah Love, predominantly Jeremiah Love, because Veach talked about needing an explosive running back, and he did talk about that because he gives out a little bit of nuggets here and there. It's what nuggets you're going to get, because some of them are right and some of them are to throw you off in a smoke screen, because teams and GMs play chess this time of year. It's what they do. Hell, last night, I'll play it again. Peter Schrager has a podcast, right? Peter Schrager of NFL Network. He does it. Well, he's on ESPN now, but it's basically the same thing at this point. And he had Mike Borgonzi. Remember him? He was in the Chiefs front office. Now he's the GM of the Tennessee Titans. He talked about the Chiefs putting a smoke screen out there when they were drafting Patrick Mahomes.
Scouting Mahomes. What is your memory of the Mahomes scouting process? the first time, me and Veach sat in this back room in Kansas City, and it was just me and him. And I actually sat in this little office that used to keep beta tapes in. So they cleared out the beta tapes, and there was no windows in there, right? So I sat in that office, and right next door to me was this big scouting room that our college scouts would come in and use. But of course, they were only there a few times a year. So Veach was at this big wooden desk. We used to call it Hank Stram's desk because so we would just yell over at each other, so he's like, Borgo, come over, whatever he was watching. I'd have to come up with, what is it? He was watching this. LaRaven Clark was a tackle for Texas Tech.
I remember him, Texas Tech, LaRaven Clark, sure.
And that's who he was watching. And then he started to, see this quarterback. He's like, wow, look at this throw. And Veach is always big with the videos and stuff on his phone. So he starts filming it, starts shooting it over to Andy. And, Andy's probably like, dude, it's May right now. Slow down. But he was relentless with it. We had to keep it, as quiet as possible for, through the whole fall. But we pretty much knew, I think, during the fall that where we were going with the pick. The night of the draft, we were all on pins and needles, just trying to get up there. And then we finally, found a trade partner with Buffalo at 10. There was some rumors that we were trying to trade up. And I think we might have leaked out that we were trading up for a linebacker that night. Some people took the bait on that one.
Idiots ran with it, probably me. Yeah.
So you hear it there. We threw a smoke screen out there that we were going to trade up and get a linebacker, and they trade up to get Patrick Mahomes. So believe nothing of what you hear at this point. If you say, oh, man, I really hear the Chiefs are zeroing in on somebody. I'm really thinking they're going offensive line. Really think that's where they're going. Or they really like Caleb Downs. They're going to surprise everybody and get a safety. It's what I'm hearing from the Chiefs. And then they don't do it because you don't want to give out information before you make the pick. Just like you go back to the Seattle, whenever they drafted Russell Wilson in the third. They had him higher up. And, of course, Russ then was a lot better than Russ now, as we know. But they were sweating it out that he wouldn't make it because the Chiefs had the pick right before where they got Donald Stevenson. But they were sweating it out. They thought that was their quarterback of the future, and they sweated it out till you get there. That's why you always throw a smoke screen to teams on who you're going to take. And they deal with Mahomes there. But again, Jeremiah Love, everybody thought they were going to take him. So now they kind of back off of it because they're talking about getting an explosive runner and things like that. It's amazing. Some people think they're still going to get him, which is funny because they're totally buying the smoke screen at this point, but they're not going to do it. But you sit there. Jeremiah Love could come into play in a good way if he's still there because you don't have that quarterback there. Like the Chiefs, unfortunately, there's one quarterback going in front of them. It's Mendoza at 1. Usually you'd have, a couple quarterbacks going, so it makes you, even though you're picking 9th, you're actually picking like 7th or 6th because other teams are going for quarterback at that point. So if a Jeremiah Love makes it past Tennessee, or actually makes it through Arizona at 3, and then Tennessee passes on him in the 4th because the Tony Pollard's still there. And then he gets through New York. They have Cam Scatteraboo, so would they take another running back? Who knows? And then Washington. And then all of a sudden you're getting to the Saints. They just got ETN in free agency, and the Chiefs, Jeremiah Love. So if someone really wants Jeremiah Love, could they trade the Chiefs at 9 and the Chiefs move back a couple of picks? But Jeremiah Love would become a good commodity for the Chiefs if he goes on a slide, which we know in the NFL, everybody can go on a slide. Ask Aaron Rodgers.
Ask Brady Quinn.
But Rodgers turned out good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Randy Moss kept sliding.
Yeah. I've only got bad examples. Ask Johnny Manziel.
So
ask Shedeur Sanders.
Almost led right to the Chiefs pick where they're sitting. But, yeah, the smoke screens are out there. But Jeremiah Love could be a nice piece if he slides.
If he slides, yeah.
If he does. I can't see him doing it, but
this is
crazy things happen in the NFL draft. But it wouldn't appear that because people look at him as clearly the best running back.
Yeah.
I mean, he's by far and away the best running back in this draft. The number 2 running back might be his backup, Jadarian Price from Notre Dame. But it's pretty much a consensus. And that's what you get sometimes, like who's the best quarterback consensus-wise? Well, he's obviously the consensus best running back you could draft. Caleb Downs, the consensus best safety. Some guys have earned the consensus for the best at their positions.
This is the time of year where you listen to everybody, yet trust nobody, essentially.
You can't.
Don't trust anything you hear. Because whatever they're feeding you, because it went from Jeremiah Love to then it had to be receiver. I mean, we've bounced all over the board here. So I've almost not stopped watching mock drafts, but I can't listen to any of them because knowing the Chiefs, it's like, well, they're gonna either do exactly what everybody thought from day one, or they're gonna totally take it in a different direction.
And what's funny is some of these guys, like Matthew Friedman from like Fantasy Life, if you look the last 5 years, he's been the most accurate. They actually grade these things. So it's funny when you're looking at them. Like I know everybody wants to go off what Kuiper puts out there, and it kind of sets the trend for the direction they're going. We're already seeing a different shift just today than we saw Wednesday in the direction people are going. But they sit there and they watch these things. And if some big name puts out the Chiefs are looking at a certain player, guess what? Everybody else is getting their mock is going to probably pick that same person. To be honest with you. They're going to pick the exact same person. If Kuiper picks somebody, you watch the trends. The trends will be exactly that same player that he goes ahead and picks. So I am curious what they do, but we're not going to know. They're going to come out and tell you because you don't want someone else coming up and stealing the picks. It's just like Mahomes. Think about that. Think about the kind of difference he made by trading up and getting him. If everybody knew how damn good he was, there would have been a lot of teams trying to get to 10. He wouldn't have made it to 10.
No.
But even if he did, you think about how many teams would have tried to get it. Chiefs might have tried to get higher to get Mahomes if you knew how good he was going to be.
Oh,
but
yeah.
One guy like that can change your whole outlook on your team, can change your whole city as far as the events you get, how this team looks at its team instead of a team that went 22 years without winning a playoff game. Then they finally do with Alex Smith, and they get smoked in the second round against the Patriots. And then Mahomes, enter him, 17 playoff wins, number 2 all time already. For a team that didn't win in 22 years, a playoff game, he's already got 17. That one guy can change how you look at a team. Not only that, just imagine had the Chiefs drafted Deshaun Watson. Like a majority of the media in this town wanted.
I think about that a lot more than I probably should. But can you imagine where we'd be now compared to where we are?
Think about all the people that complain about your mock draft or whatever. They wanted Deshaun Watson.
Oh.
This town wanted Deshaun. I sat here doing a draft show, and I saw our text line. And as soon as they drafted Mahomes, it was filled with never won at Texas Tech, Chiefs lose again. I mean, it was all negative.
And if you remember,
there was nothing positive at all.
Remember his pre-draft bio, almost all the analysts were saying, great arm talent, very high football IQ, outstanding person.
But rough around the edges.
Outstanding person.
And fundamentals. Yeah.
The one key thing that everybody missed, they were like, he's just a great young man off the field. You couldn't have been more wrong.
I was always a fan of him, and I mean it's written down. I mean there's record of it. I was always a fan of him because every time he got on the field, he had to score. He had the worst defense in college football, so literally he had to score a touchdown every time he was on the field. That's the kind of guy you want. You want a guy that can go out there and score
every single time.
Yeah, that's who he is. Does it shock me at all how good he was right away? Does it shock me that his first 7 years starting, he went to the AFC title game? No. Doesn't surprise me at all. 913-586-7965 is our phone number. I'll keep you updated on the NCAA tournament scores going on as well. Plus, the mock draft came out. I'm curious where you're thinking right now. Blake, I got you, I think, at receiver at this point. Julio was last night, and I had to work on him because he's always been, defense. And I got him kind of opening up his mind a little bit now that there's 2 first-round picks, which I do think change things a little bit where you don't have to be so staunch one way or the other. But I'm curious what people are thinking. Plus, I'll let you know what we were thinking next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by A.B. May. Trust A.B. May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Lacey, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. And yes, I'm actually a jeweler. I bring dream engagement rings to life every day in our jeweler workshop. When I hand set your diamond into your ring, I think about creating a piece you'll wear for a lifetime. I pay attention to the smallest details and treat every ring with the same care and craftsmanship, no matter the size or price. Come see us in store. Shane Company engagement rings are crafted with care from our hands to yours. Because a friend wants your ring to be nothing short of perfect. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
Opening night is here, and we're ready to celebrate the return of the boys in blue. Join 96.5 The Fan at Maloney's Sports Bar and Grill in Overland Park on Friday, March 27th. From first pitch to last call, cold drinks, wall-to-wall TVs, and the 96.5 The Fan crew will be there to cheer on the boys in blue. Join us for an opening night watch party Friday, March 27th at Maloney's Sports Bar and Grill in Overland Park, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back, 96.5 The Fan. Tournament scores brought to you by BC Bank, the official bank of the Big 12. Well, Blake, we've got some more action now. Iowa, 44-35 right now over Clemson. About 11 minutes left in the second. We know weird things could happen. You saw what happened to VCU in North Carolina last night, didn't you? They were up by 13 points. They're up 70 or 14. They're up 70-56. Then boom, here comes VCU, and the rest is history. Northern Iowa trails St. John's 47-28. UCLA over UCF 35-27 at halftime. Purdue 45. Queens University 30. Florida View A&M and Florida start about 8:25, and then of course Kansas and Cal Baptist at 8:45. Furman and UConn come about 9 o'clock, 9:10. Missouri and Miami from St. Louis. Already done today, completed. Arizona 92-58 over Long Island. The 116 matchup. Iowa State cruises 108-74 over Tennessee State. Virginia knocks off Wright State 82-73. Bama, the Tide 90, Hofstra 70. Texas Tech 91, Akron 71. Akron actually won that MAC tournament, by the way. It wasn't Miami of Ohio. They beat undefeated Miami of Ohio in the MAC tournament. Miami gets into the first four, highest rated first four game ever when they had the big win. Then, of course, they get to the NCAA tournament, and they lose or hammered today by Tennessee. Speaking of Miami, they lost 78-56 at the hands of Tennessee today by 22 points. Kentucky 89-84 over Santa Clara in overtime. It's actually a very good game to watch. Utah State beats Villanova 86-76. I have the Iowa Clemson game on in here right now. Kind of going through them all, but that's the one I'm kind of have up.
That's the one I got on back here. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Bink. The Santa Clara game versus Kentucky, you said? Who? The Santa Clara overtime game?
Santa Clara, Kentucky, yeah.
Santa Clara was up 3 going into the final seconds, correct? And all they had to do was foul to force a 2, and they didn't, correct?
I think so.
I mean, what? I don't know.
Anyway,
that's one of those.
I'm locked into this thing tonight. It's fine.
No, you're good. You're good. I agree with Carrington from earlier. Is down the stretch planning by some of these teams just continues to be bad.
From the 816, this is funny. Listen to this. You ready? Listen to this.
Of course.
Your station should be embarrassed by how little you've covered the Royals. You're the broadcast home of the Royals. Ridiculous.
This has to be satire.
No, that's not. It's somebody that doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. This is what I'm talking about. These are skewed views that people have. The general manager of the Royals comes on all the time with Cody and Gold. Jake Eisenberg comes on every week with Cody and Gold. Vern does a hot stove show every single Thursday. Vern was just on with us at 6:30 for half an hour talking about the Kansas City Royals. On the commercials, we're having a watch party for the Atlanta Braves Kansas City Royals Game 1 at Maloney's this coming Friday, inviting everybody. So we are covering the Royals. We cover the Royals. We talk about the Royals all the time. The Chiefs have a little thing called the NFL Draft coming up in April. And, of course, the NCAA tournament is on right now. Sorry, we're not putting a rundown just for you, 816, but you should be the one embarrassed because clearly you're not listening all throughout the day to different times when the Royals do come up on every single show, every one of them.
You should be embarrassed, Bink. We should just take a collective embarrassment.
The Royals and the WBC was on every single show, every one of them.
You had to I mean, like, you didn't listen to the station at all throughout the entire day, clearly.
No, and we have
all ever.
We've had spring training games on this station. We sent Josh Vernier to Surprise, Arizona for every single game at spring training. It's called Covering the Team. And he does a show every Thursday night specifically about the Royals, but we carry the Royals games, and we're going to cover we're going to have every Royals game on. The station, all we do is talk Royals. Hell, I was with the Royals in 2015 in New York when they won the World Series. We go when we cover the Royals.
That's why I'm convinced this person has to be pulling our leg, man.
No, it's just somebody that half listens whenever they want.
They're casual.
But when they happen to be in the car, we're talking Chiefs because guess what? Everybody in this town, they do like the Chiefs. Believe it or not, they do.
Some of it, I've heard.
We've talked a lot about the WBC on the show.
We talked a lot about most of the first hour talking about the Royals.
And we talked about the Royals rotation that just came out today as well, and we'll talk about that some more. So
thanks for listening, 816.
Yeah, we appreciate you half listening.
Yeah.
Appreciate you half listening. We get a lot of half listeners all the time. By the way, the Chiefs hosting Oscar Delp, the tight end from Georgia, on a top 30 visit. Now, take these things with a grain of salt. They bring a lot of guys in for top 30 visits, and they never draft them. Now, some they do. Like if there's medical issues or character issues, they'll bring somebody in. They brought in Josh Simmons because of medical issues. So they have done it in the past. But typically, top 30 visits can be smoke screens. Oh, guess who they're visiting? And then the funny thing is on draft night, when they talk to the local media and they talk on draft night or after being drafted, one of the questions that always comes up besides what's your favorite barbecue restaurant, which is stupid. I get it. But they'll ask, did you have conversations with the Chiefs throughout the process? Sometimes you'll hear, well, they talked to him at the Shrine Bowl, they talked to him at the Senior Bowl, or they may have had a conversation at the Combine, but they didn't come in for a visit because you know why? That was a smoke screen. That was a smoke screen. They don't want to show too much interest in an individual. I remember, Blake, and I brought this up before, John Dorsey, before the draft, he used to have, he'd bring in about 10 people or so, and he'd do it on a couple nights, and to explain the Chiefs draft process. He'd bring in what the kind of stuff they're looking for. And you know what struck me more than anything when he was showing film? He wasn't necessarily watching the player. He was watching who's watching the player. They say that's GM. That's head coach. That's just a position coach. He was watching to see who's watching, because if you're sending a GM or a coach, there's probably a little bit more interest in said player than just a position coach or a scout. So he would watch to see who's watching said player, and it's why Dorsey did pretty good in the draft.
Watching the watchers.
You watch who's watching.
That's
always important.
That is some multi-level scouting right there.
So anyway, we put out our mock. I don't know. We put it out. It's on 96.5 The Fan if you want to see it. Or we did it. We waited. Well, we did one right after the Chiefs were eliminated, which clearly some of that's changed. Some of it hasn't, to be honest with you. There's a couple players that stayed the same, because one thing Chris and I do is we don't just do a mock show, a couple weeks before the draft. We actually do it all year. We do it through training camp. We do it through the season. Which players, who to watch for, their matchups they're playing that week. Chris and I go through every single game, and we'll talk about which prospects you want to watch in said game because it matters. Maybe they're playing Alabama. Maybe they're playing two, NFL caliber defensive backs. So if you want to watch receivers, watch this game.
Bink, do you dream in mock draft form?
I do.
Do you do mock drafts in your dreams and then come up and go, Eureka?
Well, last night, Julio and I were trying to guess how the board speaks. Like, Julio was talking how the board would speak, and he was talking in Reuben Bain. I was talking wide receiver when I would hear the board speak. But Mekhi Lemon stayed as the first pick, which it was the last time we did it as well. However, 29, edge, Clemson, T.J. Parker, then Christian Miller, who showed up again earlier on a mock right when we finished the season. He's defensive tackle from Georgia. Can play nose. Obviously, they bring in Tonga to play nose. He plays about 45% of the snaps. This is someone that could play a significant percentage of the snaps as well. He's also a 3 technique. He's even played as much as 7 technique and 5. We really liked him. We went tight end in the third round with Max Clare out of Ohio State. Back to defense with Will Lee III, the corner out of A&M. That's a kind of a sweet spot where the Chiefs draft defensive backs there. We go Michael Taft, the safety from Texas in the 5th. Kevin Coleman, the wide receiver / punt returner. Yes, that we think can bring
my dude from Mizzou,
because he can return the ball.
Yes,
and that's
he can.
Obviously a priority with this team. Then Tyron Montgomery, the wide receiver from John Carroll, who's Division III, who's really stood out at the Senior Bowl. No one's talking about him. Didn't go to the Combine, but it's a guy like that with 1,500 yards and over 119 catches. They'll probably turn heads in the NFL and just say, just like Pookie, he's like, why did we take a chance on this guy?
Where did this guy come from?
There is then Devonta Smith, the cornerback from Notre Dame, at the end. Sure, there's some positions you'd really like to hit. Obviously, offensive line depth would have been something we probably missed on this, and/or linebackers. We had Bryce Bector from Oregon earlier on in a mock draft, but you can do it. But the key thing is 3 wide receivers, because I desperately think they need to throw more than one dart at a wide receiver, because right now they're just one dart Sky Moore, one dart Rashee Rice, one dart at Jalen Royals. They're the kings of one dart Xavier Worthy. Instead of drafting multiple wide receivers, if one doesn't work out, you move on. But you're not taking that chance like other teams do. You're not going to find the Juwan Jennings. You're not going to find the Puka Nakuas. You're not going to find the Torrey Hortons. You're not going to find the diamonds in a rough if you're not taking more than one stab at it.
Yeah, I mean, just why not up your odds? I mean, because the Chiefs have been lucky enough that they've, I don't know what you really want to give that grade, if it's a 6 out of 10 with what they've hit over the past couple of years with Worthy and Wrights, even going back to Mecole, or we don't really know what they've hit with Royals because they haven't hardly let the guy play that much. But the fact that you've only thrown really.
Yeah, speaking of question marks or exclamation mark, that's a huge question.
Yeah. So the fact that you've only thrown about 4 darts, and so far they've hit at least average. That's just great odds already. You can't continue that trend. You've got to throw more darts, like you said. You've got to up your odds, up your chances.
Rasheed Rice was what he did at SMU was incredible. He had 97 catches. I think the second on the team was like 35 catches or something. It was like far and away he was the dude. And he was second in the NFL as rookie wide receivers, only behind Puka. He finished number 2 in yards and receptions, so they made a good choice. But then the injuries and then the suspension this year, and then it becomes the question of, can you put a full season together? Worthy had a lot of skills they liked. In durability, he's always been a durable player. That's the one thing that kind of surprised, but he was banged up a lot. I mean, the injuries started to mount up, and he wasn't 100%, and he needed the rest after the season. He was not 100% last year, and I think as more and more comes out about it, you'll know that he wasn't 100% last year playing. He toughed through it, but this guy never missed in Pop Warner, never missed in high school, never missed at the University of Texas. He's not known for missing games. And availability is such a big issue you got to have. That's why when I see these Jordan Tyson as the wide receiver in mock drafts, I sit there and question. I was like, okay, so you want a guy that's going to stand with the Gatorade because he's hurt on the sideline. That's who you want. Because, let me remind you, he's missed over 40% of his games at Arizona State because he had the ACL. He had a broken collarbone. He had the hamstring issue this year. He's always got issues. But they'll say, oh, he's the best receiver. Well, okay, that's fine. You can be the best, but you got to play. Missing 40% of your games is not great. Or Reuben Bain, then went week 3 through 10 with the half sack. Like, you can't have games where you missed. You got to show consistency in what you do. Jeremiah Love, that everybody loves. The best team he played all year was the University of Miami. He had 33 yards, 3.3 yards a carry against Miami. It wasn't good.
And really, you could make that same argument.
That's the best defense he played.
You could make that same argument against Reuben Bain. Started the year hot and then just plateaued for the rest of the season.
He had a huge game against A&M in the playoffs, and that's what propelled him up to what everybody loves. But everyone cares about what he did in the semifinals when he disappeared. They don't care about that. They don't care about doing good and then doing bad. But they do care week 5 and 6. They say, why does the guy show up and then not show up at all? Where is he at? I mean, these are the questions that come in. You want consistency throughout. You want to be good every game, not good sometimes when you have a matchup that's favorable for you. And the fact that on the other side of that defense, on the other edge, is another first-round pick and Akeem Mesidor. And he didn't even lead the Hurricanes in sacks. Mesidor did. It's just funny.
And he has short arms. But
ain't short arms. 913-586-7965 is the phone number. It's also the J Southland Tow Service text line. There is something regarding the NFL draft that is kind of funny for the city of Pittsburgh. They're going to be doing something. It involves the draft, but it is not the draft, but it involves the draft. I'll explain next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by A.B. May. Trust A.B. May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Some things just go together, like peanut butter and jelly, or a Casey's spicy chicken sandwich and a 49-cent medium fountain drink, or a Casey's breakfast sandwich and a 49-cent fountain drink, or even Casey's limited-time hot ham and Swiss sliders and a 49-cent fountain drink. You get the idea. It's not crazy. It's Casey's. See store for details.
Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all of the action. And right now, you can make entries and win money in Missouri. And playing on Underdog is so easy. Just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points and rebounds, steals, and more. And once you get your entries right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. And playing on Underdog is awesome. I love it. So many basketball games going on over the next couple of weeks. How far is Kansas going to go? Is Duke the best team out there? Maybe you believe in Arizona. Download the app today and use promo code BOB to score $50 in bonus entries when you play your first $5 with promo code BOB. Underdog, make plays and win money. Must be 18 and over and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/player Play and get terms. _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-MY-RESET or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again, so call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Blake Sneeders. Just saw this come across from Pro Football Talk. You know, Florio and his business. Says Jameis Winston will appear on Netflix's opening night MLB coverage. Okay.
I'm down for it.
Yeah, Jameis is funny. Jameis is actually very entertaining, but it's funny seeing these people cross over to different sports, you know?
Well, and if you remember,
they have Chuck do different things, Barkley, or they have Nate Burleson doing NCAA tournament stuff. They have this crossover stuff as everybody wants the big personality. And Jameis is a big personality. I'll give him
massive personality. He's a clip waiting to happen every time he touches the mic.
He is certifiably one of the funniest guys in the NFL, if not the funniest.
And he was a hell of a baseball player at Florida State.
He was very good.
Yeah.
Very good closer. I think Winston was the closer there.
Yeah, he had a mid-90s fastball, didn't he?
Yeah. Stud, man.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston's a stud. He's also funny as hell. He's also going to go places on every TV network's going to want Jameis.
For sure. I could easily see Netflix having like a reality show with Jameis Winston. I could just see him being a reality show guy, but like in the most
Probably
genuine way.
Wants.
Yeah, in
Probably
the most genuine way.
There's a few guys that can do whatever the hell they want. He's one of them. It's like Kelsey, the Kelsey question. People are like, "You glad he's coming back?" I was like, "Well, yeah, for a couple reasons. One, and we talked to Julio about this last night. It was a big indicator on Mahomes' recovery, to be honest with you. I think we've talked about this too, Blake. I said, watch what Kelsey does. If he retires, be concerned of missing 4 to 5 games. If he doesn't, don't expect him to miss any games. Because I doubt Kelsey comes back for less money and wants to go to training camp when he's marrying a billionaire with 2 jets and he's got hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, when he's got probably $15 million on the table if he wants to sit in the studio on Sunday mornings and talking about the NFL. So, yeah, if he comes back, probably Mahomes going to be ready to go week one. Now, you would never doubt Mahomes anyway. Week one, he had a surgery the next day. I always did. But that move right there, I said, watch that move. See what Kelsey does. If he comes right back, he wants to get back. One more chance with Patrick Mahomes going forward. I doubt he comes back to play with the backup quarterback, which he didn't really know was going to be Justin Fields at the time. But even Gardner Minshew this year, anybody, he's not coming back for a backup quarterback.
No, he wouldn't. And I'm curious, does FanDuel have a return week bet going for a return week for Mahomes?
I don't know. I would bet on week one.
I mean, I would. Is that dirty to bet on when a player returns from injury?
No, I mean, I think once it happened, we're all like, okay, we know he's going to do. We saw him dislocate his knee and miss 2 games and come right back.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. It's what he does. I mean, it's like you don't count him out.
The clock started immediately, and he got to work immediately on that recovery.
It's like you don't count him out at all. All right, so here's what they're doing. Adam Schefter had this out, and so did various other publications. This one's come straight from Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh's public source, they call this thing. And we're sending Gold and Alex to their show out there in Pittsburgh. They're expecting 700,000 people to be in Pittsburgh for the NFL draft coming up as we see this thing just becoming a juggernaut and a monster in what it is. Pittsburgh's public schools, their leadership wants to avoid the traffic, parking problems, and road closures, which I don't blame them. That will likely accompany this event because you got to do something with 700,000 people in your city. So what they're going to do is they're going to operate remotely from April 22nd, the night before the draft, through that Friday, through April 24th, as the city prepares to host the NFL draft. So people are freaking out about it. Oh, my God, they're canceling school for football. You should have seen the reaction from people like, oh, my God, they're actually canceling this or bowing down to the NFL, the schools. They're not. No, they are. They're just doing it remotely. Now, I don't know how that works. I have no idea. I mean, I never did it. So but you're still going. Like I guess it's like someone working remotely
not
for
happening.
Work. So they're still doing it, but you got to do it remotely now because you have the ability to do it. It's why these snow days. There's not as many snow days anymore because a lot of times it's doing it remotely. It's not a true snow day because they find a way for the kids still to go to school. I don't blame this at all. If the traffic is going to be snarled up or anything, you don't want your kids on the bus, or definitely you don't want to go pick them up in one of those situations if it's going to be that much traffic out there. So a couple days is not going to hurt anybody. There's enough days off in school anyway. I mean, they have like in-service days and teacher meeting days all over the damn place. These kids miss all the school. They get off a lot earlier, too. We went to school in June. We wouldn't go back until we didn't have air conditioners, man. We're not talking ancient times here either, Blake.
Are you sure?
We're not.
You guys went to school all the way through June? Or into June?
Into.
Oh, okay.
Not through it.
So, yeah, we always ended in May.
But
but it's not like they're closing down the schools like they did a couple of years ago for like a year straight.
I've had 2 kids, and they were off all the time. I mean, there's always this in-service day with the teachers have a meeting. Or I mean, there's just crap everywhere. And you're trying to find a sitter. You're trying to do all this. I mean, if they have days off all the time, what's the big deal about 700,000 people coming and putting a ton of money in your city, which guess what? Everybody profits from, including the children of Pittsburgh, to do this. What's 2 days sitting at home doing your homework?
I think it makes sense. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal at all.
It's not like they're not going. They're still doing it.
And even if they weren't going, you know what? I wouldn't care. But 2 days of school is not going to hurt you.
It's kind of like one of those deals like, is it beneficial to get your kid out of school to go to the parade? And you know what? A lot of teams.
I say yes.
In a lot of cities, school's canceled on the days of parades.
Yeah.
Victory parades for like the Royals, Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times school is canceled on those days because guess what? Or opening day. There's been the argument, do you take your kid out of school for opening day? I will say that kid will probably remember going with his mom or dad to a baseball game and those kind of memories more than sitting in a class watching a video. Again, from a teacher that's got tenure that's not even teaching them. They're showing them a video. What's more important, actually watching a game with your parents or basically nonsense at school?
What's more important, gaining a life experience or, like you said, rewatching a video because your teacher maybe went out the night before with the ladies for wine night on Thursdays, and now on Friday she's feeling a little under the weather, and she's like, all right, just watch this biology video about these newts and these geckos again. All right, how about that? You guys just enjoy. I'm going to turn the lights off.
It's just a reminder how much people like to complain about everything.
Well, if there's something to find, even if there's not.
There's 700,000 people coming to your town. It's okay, man. Your town's going to be a spotlight in America.
Yeah,
it's okay.
fine.
They're doing school remotely. They're doing it because of traffic, because of your kid getting to and from school or you picking them up.
It's a safety
They're helping
thing.
you out. Yeah, it's a safety issue. Deal with it. 3 words, deal with it. But it's just funny seeing the reaction. Oh, man, we got to think about the school kids and the teachers and all this. Then where are you the rest of the year when they take all the time off? Where are you at then?
Let them live, man. Let them live. Let them gain some life experience instead of having them clogged up in a classroom all day.
There was, 350,000 in Kansas City. There was 600,000 in Nashville. There was, 600,000 in Green Bay even. There was 1 million in Detroit when they had the draft there. They're expecting 700,000 in Pittsburgh.
You want to drive in that?
That's a lot of people.
You want to drive in that?
It's a lot.
No, hell no.
No, I don't want to. But the NFL draft is an animal all in itself at this point. But it goes back to the adage: which more important, going on opening day, taking your kid out of school, or letting them go to school when the teacher's probably there anyway, and you have a substitute because the teacher's at the.
I'll tell you right now, Bink, I've never once been to opening day for the Royals, and I wish that was a memory I had as a kid.
I didn't really until I started doing this.
Yeah.
But I wish
never
I
had
could have
one.
gone.
I wish I could have.
Parents were like, "Your ass is going to school, man."
That was my mom. If it wasn't an absolute blizzard outside, your ass is going to school, man.
That's exactly what it was.
You're not staying home. You're going to cause too much ruckus in the neighborhood.
Let's get back to the positions in the 8. I'll fill you in all over the tournament in the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to talk about the Royals rotation as well, but the pressing needs for the team in red next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $59.99 guaranteed. That's right. Don't just cut back. Stop smoking once and for all. Also, lose all the weight you want. Only $59.99 guaranteed with Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Let hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating, and lose the weight. Weight loss hypnosis, Wednesday, April 1st at the Wingate by Wyndham, Kansas City. Formerly Sure Stay Plus by Best Western in Kansas City, 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking hypnosis, 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Did your HVAC struggle through this rough winter? When it comes to your home comfort, trust the local experts at Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Right now, you can save up to $2,000 on a new HVAC system with our trade-in allowance program. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee, means you get safe, reliable service and peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
When shopping for a new auto insurance policy, AAA could help you customize your coverage to fit your unique needs and budget. Trust AAA Auto Insurance to help you find the balance that works for you. See how a simple switch could make a big difference. AAA, we're always with you. Visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Sex, intimacy, love. These 3 things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, save more on what goes into the job. Add power to your lineup with a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5 amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt 20-volt max tool. Plus, get up to 35% off select major appliances from Whirlpool, Maytag, and more. Get the job done right. Keep more in your pocket. That's Pro Savings Days. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location. While supplies last.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Blake Sneeders. Not as much time to get in what I wanted to get into because City of Pittsburgh said we should take it off, man.
I see what you did there.
We're sitting in Codeine Gold to Pittsburgh. Eat Pimani Brothers, enjoy the city that Skeens is building.
Or is it the city he's trying to get out of?
Maybe so. I'm seeing this thing on Twitter, by the way. There's a new Hard Rock hotel and casino. It's on the Strip where the Mirage was. It's going to have a 700-foot guitar-shaped hotel tower, and they're showing this. It'll have 600 rooms and suites, but it's where the Mirage was. The Mirage is once one of the, they're replacing all these Legends hotels on the Strip in Vegas. But the Hard Rock, I knew the Hard Rock Stadium and everything else, but I remember the Hard Rock restaurants and stuff were always a big thing, and everybody had the T-shirts. So it was the early 2000s or 90s. You had like a Hard Rock Phoenix shirt or Hard Rock Miami.
Oh, yeah.
But it stayed in business, right? I mean, it's still doing well.
The only Hard Rock Cafe I've ever been to, I believe, was actually down in Mexico. Never been to one in the United States.
But remember how it used to be like a thing with the Hard Rocks? The Hard Rocks or the Hooters. When Hooters, before it really branched out, where it was everywhere there for a while. But it was going to a Hooters, going to a Hard Rock, and just going to a said place, Hard Rock always seems like that. But I guess as far as the gambling establishments for Hard Rock are doing really well. But the actual Hard Rock cafes, can you even go to one anymore?
I honestly don't know. I don't know if I've seen one in the longest time, even just traveling around.
I mean, they used to have Coyote Uglies, too. Remember the Coyote Uglies from the movie and stuff?
Oh, yeah. Good movie, too.
They had a place in Nashville, Coyote Ugly. They sang and danced and everything else, I don't know, man. But this thing looks incredible. 700-foot guitar. They just need that dude to climb it. They climbed that skyscraper on Netflix. Did you see that, the skyscraper challenge?
No.
You never saw that guy that climbed that skyscraper?
No, I mean, I've seen people do that, but I don't know if this particular one.
Oh, dude. I mean, how many people have you seen?
Did he free climb it?
Like
no rope and anything?
Nothing, man.
Yeah.
He climbed up it. And it was in...
I wonder if I'm thinking of the same guy.
It was on Netflix. You can still catch it. It's called Sky. He was only paid, I guess, $600,000 for it or something like that, which is a lot of money, but not for doing that.
Not for certain death.
He did. I watched it live. It was so tough to watch, but he had no ropes, and he climbed this one of the world's largest or the world's tallest skyscraper in Taipei, Taiwan. Alex Honnold. But yeah, dude, I mean, he just.
Oh, okay, yes, I do know this
guy. You saw
guy.
him almost slip there at one point or whatever, and you're like, you're holding your breath the whole time. Like, dude, don't fall, man.
You're sitting on the edge of your seat.
But yeah, I mean, you're watching it live on Netflix, so there was some interest. I like when that Nick Walinda walks across that, the Grand Canyon or something.
No, this Alex Honnold guy, I do know him. He has another show on Netflix, or he had one, I think.
Yeah, he does this stuff all the time.
Oh,
with
yeah.
rocks and
He's
stuff.
one of the, I think he was one of the, he is like the world's best / I think at the time, the youngest free climber.
I mean, this is a real life Spider-Man.
100%. They say the grip on his fingertips is akin to a chimpanzee's or a gorilla's. That's how strong the tendons are in his fingers.
I mean, it's insane. But he did it without ropes or anything.
He also lived in his van for like many years, just climbing, just for fun.
Supposedly the highest free solo climb of an urban structure. I mean, it was. If you have a chance to go back and watch it, now you know the outcome's fine. He's going to live through it.
Yeah, he's alive.
I don't know if it takes it away a little bit.
No, it doesn't. I think watching him do that and seeing exactly how he goes about it, and when they give you the different views, I'm sure it's still breathtaking. Also, maybe butthole clenching.
I guess it's not the tallest now. It was 1,667 feet, was the tallest building in the world from 2004 to 2009. But as of 2026, it's the 11th largest skyscraper in the world, because that's what we do. We just keep making things better. So
Gotta go bigger and better,
for
baby.
5 years, it was number one. Now it's like 11. I don't care. He would have gone even higher up than that. It didn't matter.
Quick call back to the last segment from the 417. Don't know that number. I just moved to Kansas City from a redneck town that would cancel school for opening day of deer season.
Hell
I
yeah.
do know. Hell yeah, brother.
It should be. I mean, what's more valuable to learn experience than going out and hunting with your dad, your grandpa, or your uncle, whatever it is?
And that's something I can attest to.
Or your mom.
As a hunter, that is, you're going to learn more in that one day of hunting than you will in the entire week of school. I promise you that.
I'll never forget going hunting with my grandpa when he first started doing it. He was like, "Shut up, man! You're gonna scare all the animals. Just shut up." That's what he used to tell me.
Stop talking, Bink. He's like, "I'm sorry, I'm doing mock drafts in my head over here."
Sorry, I'm talking football, man. Shut up, man. Just be quiet.
Scaring away the whitetail.
Yeah, especially with ducks, man. It's like, just shut up, man. Anyway, he kept me busy on it, so I didn't get into it. The pressing needs. And by the way, your Chiefs questions at 8:30 if you have them. 913-586-7965. Our text line, but the pressing issues facing this team, and we'll keep you updated on the NCAA tournament next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Some things just go together, like peanut butter and jelly, or a Casey's spicy chicken sandwich and a 49-cent medium fountain drink, or a Casey's breakfast sandwich and a 49-cent fountain drink, or even Casey's limited-time hot ham and Swiss sliders and a 49-cent fountain drink. You get the idea. It's not crazy. It's Casey's. See store for details.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out.
Leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local. He knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
Max Minute on Twitter and Instagram every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back, 8 o'clock hour. Jay Binkley, Blake Sneeders. And the one thing, too, Blake, from that clip, it's the old argument. This might be one of the oldest arguments. It's a good barstool debate, right? Chicken or the egg, Is it Dorsey or Veach that got Mahomes, right? Or how about neither? It was Andy Reid. I mean, love the argument.
Or was it the water boy?
Dorsey was the GM at the time, even though he was let go that summer. Brett Veach was the scout on it. He obviously found Mahomes, according to Borgonzi. Well, he didn't find him, but he studied him.
Pulled the trigger. Made the move. Did the homework.
Made the move and got him. So when this draft comes and goes, because now, free agency, you can still get free agents at this point, but the big money ones, the big ticket items, the guys you think could help your team right away, all went quickly during the legal tampering period, the 9th through 11th of March, where everybody goes crazy on spending, and wide receiver money was spent quite a bit this time. We've seen wide receivers with Tyreek Hill in that era where the wide receivers got the money, and we saw guards, the guard market, start to go off the hook with what people are paying guards. But if there was two positions right now, and you said the Chiefs had to make a dent in the draft with those positions, because honestly, most GMs, they want their roster kind of set before they go into the draft. That way they're not pigeonholed into taking a certain player, here or there. And then you can make sense of a lot of draft picks because they're technically the best player. You always hear that. The best player on the board happened to fall to us, so we took him. You'll hear that all the time from GMs. They'll say, why the hell did you draft a safety? And they'll say, well, he was the best player available on the board, which probably could be true. Like you get a Kyle Hamilton and all of a sudden it changes your defense. Because you have him at nickel, you have him at edge, you have him at safety, and you have him off-ball linebacker. You do everything with him. But a guy like that can change the game for what you have. Is there two things in the draft, or maybe three positions that you 100% would hit? Because I think there's three right now, three pressing ones.
Yes, for me, it is wide receiver, Number 2 is defensive end. Number 3 is cornerback. Those 3 positions you have to to shore up. You've got to build your wall back up because without a wide receiver, your wide receiver room is depleted. Without somebody to get some pressure on the quarterback, Karlaftis I feel like he's going to get swallowed. I mean, Mike Dana did a little bit on the other side, but we still were wanting more production out of him, and we weren't getting it as much as we could. And now we're definitely going to get less if you can't find somebody over there on the other side. And 3, you obviously just saw in this offseason with the free agency period what happened to the Chiefs cornerback room especially, and then you get obviously Brian Cook left, so you get that from the safety side as well. I'm not as down on the safety position because I still think they brought in some good guys. Obviously, they brought
Louis Gilman was awesome.
Yeah,
That's a great pick.
Gilman was a great pickup. So, but those are the 3 positions that I'm stuck on. So, unless you have something different,
no, I'm with you on corner, but obviously, Mansour Lane has been a hot pick. Matter of fact, they did it again today. He was number 2 behind Reuben Bain as far as players, and when I did the Wednesday, he was number 1 selection by far. It was 7 out of 25 was Mansour Lane, the cornerback out of LSU, and that makes sense. And people see what goes on. They see that Jalen Watson's gone. They see Trent McDuffie's gone. Chiefs have to address that, right? You get Kohu from the Miami Dolphins, more of a nickel cornerback, but they still need corner. It'd be Noel Williams. You know, I love that pick last year the Chiefs made with Noel Williams. Picked him in the 3rd round. And when you see a lot of redrafts, he's a first-round type, which is no mystery because Creed Humphrey was a 2nd-round pick, but you do redrafts, he's a first-rounder. Trey Smith, a 6th-rounder. You do redrafts, he's a first-rounder. Nick Bolton, a first-rounder when he was picked in the 2nd round. So they kind of create their own problems financially is because they draft guys in later rounds that turn out to be, quote, first-round type picks, and they get the highest salary. Like Trey Smith was the highest-paid guard in the country. Matter of fact, the Chiefs had the highest-paid kicker was Butker, which he isn't now, but he was when they paid him. And they had the highest-paid center, the highest-paid guard, and the highest-paid defensive lineman in Chris Jones, and the highest-paid quarterback at the time. But clearly that's changed, as well with things. But that's how they do it. They draft them, but they're really good at drafting defensive backs in the middle rounds.
Year in, year out, they're fantastic at it.
Which the good news for the Chiefs is the coaches, they do get involved in it. I mean, not as extensively, not breaking down all the draft films, but they've got more time to do it now. And they didn't before because they had the AFC title game to look at. They had the Super Bowl and things like that. So not as much time. And even Spagnuolo even said so. Not as much time. Now he's got more time to do it because they do consult with them on a certain amount of guys. Which one fits your system the best?
Of course.
Which guy fits into what you do the best. And you get the input from your coaching staff, which how things should go. All GMs should get the input, not only from the scouts, but the position coaches that you trust as well, especially position coaches been here forever. Like Spags, you trust that. You trust what the head coach, Andy Reid, has to say about certain players. But if you can incorporate that, not the end-all be-all, you're not make the decision 100%, but you want to hear their input on who would play the best for them in the system that they run, that is valuable information to have.
Well, and it speaks volumes to the ability to progress and develop players. And I think if you've got the opinion of a coach, or the coach can at least give you the 5 intangibles he's looking for that he can develop. He's like, if you give me a guy with speed, long arms, and a good mind, and maybe a team leader, I can develop that regardless if he was an SEC school guy or if he was a Big Ten guy or if he's from the MAC conference, like whatever. If you give me those 3, 4 intangibles, I can progress and advance that and make them into, and they've clearly proven it.
Well, yeah, and of course people make fun of the long arm situation or whatever. What do the Chiefs preach on defensive line and the edges? Keeping your hands up. Yep. How many times do they go out and knock a pass down? Chris Jones will knock a pass down, or Omenihu would knock a pass down. It's what the Chiefs do. Karlaftis has knocked passes down. So you keep your hands up and you drop them. So if a edge is the shortest arm edge that would have been drafted in the first round in 27 years, there's a reason for that. You trusting that guy to knock down a pass when that's a certain thing of what your defense is known to do. I mean, that changes direction. That runs a 3rd down, turns into a 4th down, and they punt. The little things like this make a difference. And I think trends go well, too, when you don't want to pigeon yourself into something. It's like if you think, okay, we got to get to the quarterback. And then there's the argument of sacks or pressure. And what's more important? I'll say this. If you watch the postseason with the Seahawks, there was pressure applied to Sam Darnold, but he would get out of pressure and he'd complete 15 yards down the field to JSN. Or Mahomes is pressured a lot, but he gets out of pressure and completes passes down the field. The sack is very important because the quarterback's actually going down. And I know it's not considered as important in some circles as what pressure is, but I'll say this. Out of the top 10 sacking teams in the NFL, only 4 of them made the playoffs. Only 4. And none of them were in the top 5 that made the Super Bowl. Patriots are tied with the Chiefs with 35 sacks at 22nd. Seahawks are like 8th in the NFL in sacks. Yes, 1 in points against, which is the most important, but they didn't exactly get it. Running backs, okay? Got to have 1,000 yards. Well, the 10 highest rushers in the NFL last year, only 4 of them were first-round picks. That was it. 4 of the 10. And if you want to dive even further, only 4 of the top 10 rushers last year made the postseason. So 6 of the top running backs in the top 10 made it, 4 didn't. 4 of the 10 did not make the postseason. So it's how you want to break things down and look at what the trends are in the NFL when you make a definitive statement, say, you've got to have this, you've got to have that. Well, not necessarily, because other teams are having a lot of success and don't have that. The Chiefs finished number 2 in the NFL in sacks back at Super Bowl 57. They were only behind the Eagles. They finished 2nd the year after that. Of course, we're talking about Super Bowl runs for this team. They did make the Super Bowl finishing 18th in sacks because they find a way to manufacture the sacks. Because we look back at the 2 years where they finished number 2 in the NFL in sacks, they didn't exactly have a dominant edge rusher as well.
No.
You were getting it from Chris Jones from the inside or the outside if he was on the outside. You know, Karlaftis sprinkled in. You know, the random time blitzes from inside linebackers like Nick Bolton, Leo Chanel, off-ball linebacker, making the occasional sack, blitzing from the secondary, getting pressures from a Trey McDuffie from the cornerback position, or safety blitzes. They manufactured a way to get sacks. That was their way of doing it instead of having 2 dominant edges getting all your sacks.
Well, and it helps if you're at least if you're not going to get sacks, that you're at least getting pressures, because it helps when you have great secondary. And that's what the Chiefs have been continuing to develop.
If you can force bad throws,
yes,
that secondary absolutely loves that. If you're not getting to them, you're putting so much pressure on those guys.
Yeah, because not only can you not come through on the back end, but you're also not helping on the front end, and then that's just a losing equation right there. Not getting pressures, and you don't have anybody that can shore you up on the back end.
No question. 913-586-7965 is the phone number and the J Southland Tow Service text line. All right, we're getting close to Missouri and Kansas playing in the NCAA tournament. That's going to be fun. I'll keep you up to date on the latest scores. We've got some finals that have rolled in here from the early evening games. I'll keep you abreast of what's going on that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by A.B. May. Trust A.B. May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I hope you are sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B. and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has 0 outpatient deductibles, and is 30 to 60% lower cost than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you're a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Matt B. and KC for an instant quote over the phone. 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
We've all been there. You wake up and your knees give you that not today feeling, and it's frustrating and exhausting. Honestly, it's unfair. Raise your hand if you're excited about feeling older faster than you should. Yeah, I didn't think so. Ongoing pain makes you feel way older than you actually are. QC Kinetics patients are getting relief, feeling younger, and jumping back into life at full speed without surgery. The medical professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science. They take the tiny, powerful healing tools already inside your body and concentrate them right where you need relief. The sooner you start, the sooner inflammation eases and joint damage slows down, because no one signs up for feeling older faster. Find out if you're a candidate. Your consultation's free. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back. And Underdog is the best place to get in on the action because you can make entries and win money right now in Missouri. Playing on Underdog is super easy. You're just going to choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. Get those entries right, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. No better time than March to use Underdog. Plus, with ladders, streaks, pick'ems, and champions, so many different ways to get in on the action. Download the app today and use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $50 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-MY-RESET or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again. So call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
You already listen to 96.5 The Fan, but are you following us? Our Instagram is loaded with show clips, breaking news, mock drafts, and content you can't get on the air, like Thy Royal Decree and Chiefs Take Tuesday. Go to Instagram, search for The Fan 965, and hit that follow button. If you don't do this immediately, Dusty has threatened to do a photo shoot in a bathing suit. Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Blake Sneeders producing the operation. We lost a good one today, Blake. Lost Chuck Norris, man. Rest in peace, Mr. Chuck Norris, man. I hate hearing that. What a legend, man.
What an absolute legend.
Total legend.
And what I always loved about Chuck Norris is he was always what you would call the TV or movie badass, right?
Oh,
but he was a legit martial arts expert in real life. Like he wasn't like a Steven Seagal, I just play a bad guy on badass dude on TV. No. Chuck Norris, and everybody knows this, but Chuck Norris was an actual martial arts technician, man.
Walker, Texas Ranger, man.
That's what I respect about Chuck Norris. He's not just walking the walk, he's talking the talk, too.
Man, hated hearing that.
Rest in peace, brother.
Rest in peace. As far as the NCAA tournament, Northern Iowa, about 5:50 left in this one. St. John's up on Northern Iowa, 64-48. UCLA over Central Florida at this point, 60-51. 5:14 left in the second of that one. Purdue up on Queens University, 92-58. 5:30 left in the second half in that one. Coming up here in about 4 minutes, Florida and Prairie View A&M. 8:45 tonight, you'll have Kansas playing California Baptist. Furman and UConn later tonight at 9, and then 9:10 you get Missouri and Miami. Games that are already final: Iowa knocks off Clemson 67-61. Arizona, no problem with Long Island University in that 1-16 matchup, 92-58. Iowa State takes care of Tennessee State 108-74. Virginia beats Wright State 82-73. Alabama over Hofstra 90-70. Texas Tech 91-71 over MAC champions from the tournament, Akron. Tennessee knocked off Miami, Ohio, the darling of what people liked. Obviously, they liked. It was the highest ratings for a first four game when Miami, Ohio won in the first four over SMU. That was a big chip on your shoulder game. That was, I don't know if you sat and watched any of that, the first four, but you had Miami, a huge chip on their shoulder with, winning over, 31 games. No one said they still belonged, even though they only had one loss. And they had to prove themselves in the first four going against that SMU team. There wasn't a whole lot of complaints about the teams left out, but a lot of people didn't think SMU deserved to be in it, but they got in it and lost to Miami, Ohio. But Miami, Ohio beaten bad today by Tennessee. Kentucky over Santa Clara, 89-84 in OT. Utah State, 86-76 over Villanova. I'm sure everybody their bracket's busted because everybody says that. Just like in the winter, they say it's going to snow. Is there anything more given than your bracket being busted?
No. Not at all.
I mean, these ESPN brackets are funny because there's like millions of them, right? And then you get down to like two remain or one remain.
My bracket's can you believe my bracket's busted? Yes, I can. Shut up. Let's move along.
It kind of one of those things like death and taxes, man. It's just going to happen is your bracket is going to be busted.
Does it ever stick out? Do you have a year where you were like, oh, man, I was so close? Were you ever close, man? Have you ever been close?
I carried UConn one time for a long time. They actually won it that year, and that's surprising because usually it never happens where you actually pick the winner. At least I don't. And then, of course, I'm always strongly believing in Michigan State, always believing in Tom Izzo, but it usually doesn't happen. Now, he has won, yes, but I always believe in Tom Izzo when it's tournament time and always get disappointed at some point, but I always believe in it, man. Always believe in a Michigan State team with Tom Izzo. Just call me crazy, man.
I feel like you're not the only one. I feel like there's plenty of people that go, Michigan State? Oh, yeah, they'll go. No, they'll at least get to the Sweet 16.
So then I'm always like, oh, the bracket's busted. Last year broke a lot of brackets because if you went against the number one, if you went chalk, if you're one of these people who go all chalk, you had all four number one seeds. Happened with Kansas. Back in 2008, they had all four number one seeds. Doesn't happen very often, but they're number one seeds for a reason. I see no problem putting 3 to 4
number
one seeds in the Final Four.
It's the expected. It's why you put them there.
But it's fun to watch. It's something. I mean, I don't know what you're doing after this, but
I'm gonna go home and watch that Missouri game, baby.
Of course, you're gonna go and watch the Missouri Tigers.
Yeah, I'll probably be peeking at the KU game.
Yeah,
until we'll see how long that they can hang on.
That will be CBS, will be Kansas, and True TV will be Mizzou. Have you found True TV? You know where it's at?
I watch things online, Bink, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay, that's fine.
So yes, I always have a channel.
Eventually it's going to be a pain in the ass, and we're all going to be mad because they'll be streamed, and you have to hop out and go into another app or whatever. You can't just flip the channel or whatever. We're getting to that point, right?
Oh yeah,
where it's going to happen.
That's why I said I have I watch it online, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Speaking of consuming television, did you see the NFL has been made official, but they're thinking about doing that Thanksgiving evening game on a Wednesday?
Yeah, we talked about this last time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was you and me. They said they still haven't given it the thumbs up,
it
thumbs
hasn't
down
gotten
yet.
That yet, but I'm
you and I are all for it.
Yeah, you have Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football. You'll have Wednesday football. You'll have 3 games on Thanksgiving,
and then a Friday night game.
And they're going to add another Black Friday game probably, so you have 2 on Friday. And then by the time you get to Sunday, you'll have just a couple.
It'll be called Football Week in America, not just Football Night.
And the ratings will be crazy, and we'll consume it, and we'll love it.
And then Sunday will be dead.
It will.
Which is fine.
You'll have a good game on Sunday night.
Yeah. Of course.
And then you'll roll straight into Monday Night Football. You'll have some good
Gonna be a great week.
Have some good college football, too, that weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So, rolling into it, man. 913-586-7965 for your Chiefs questions that you might have going forward. We'll do that. Keep an eye on these games as well. Nothing really exciting going on right now. We don't have that classic beatdown going on right now where a team is like last night was fun because of North Carolina. I mean, it was fun to see how that thing. And Julio, who's calling them winners earlier in that game, and then, of course, they lose the game. It's the NCAA tournament, baby. You might as well watch the first half. It usually doesn't matter.
Julio bracket busted.
Because we've seen all these, 116 matchups or 215 in a team like Duke and Siena. They're on the ropes. And then the second half happens.
Yeah.
Or one of these teams like what Miami, Ohio in the first four threw up 46 3-point shots. Like some of these teams catch lightning in a bottle because they shoot up so many 3-point shots and they start hitting them. It's like, oh, man. This sucks, but you can't keep doing that each and every game, and they keep trying. But it's one way to win. It's like when college football first came out with the run and shoot. When teams had the 4 wide, then the 5 wide, it was their one way to beat teams that better than them because they could throw the ball over the yard. Then everybody started doing it, and it started changing how things are done. So regardless, your Chiefs questions, and NFL.com put out some interesting stuff as well regarding some of the signings. There was one particular signing that happened in the NFL that still makes me shake my head. We'll talk about that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Hi, I'm Jacob, your friend and an actual jeweler at Chain Company. I'm proud to work for a family business that's been committed to the highest quality standards for nearly 100 years. Your dream engagement ring is designed for quality every step of the way. We set your diamond by hand, never with machines. Prong tips are beautiful and secure, and intricate details are thoughtfully crafted. At Chain Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship, because a friend knows true love deserves the highest quality. Visit us in store or at Shanco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey guys, this is Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Daniel Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Sex, intimacy, love. These three things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts, with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
And welcome back, Jay Binkley, Blake Sneeders. By the way, Kansas if they happen to win tonight, it looks like it'll be St. John's next point. They're up 79. It's final now. So St. John's is in. So the winner of Kansas and Cal Baptist will face St. John's on Sunday. As far as Miami, Mizzou, winner of that game going to play Purdue. The game just went finals. So Purdue 104, Queens 71. Purdue the second seed. So the winner of Miami, Mizzou on Sunday will take on Purdue. So still have tonight to get through. I mean, Kansas, much more favorable matchup than Missouri against Miami. But still fun, Blake. But we got a ways for football season. You excited about Austin Simmons, Mizzou?
I'm sorry, say that one more time?
You excited about Austin Simmons, quarterback, Mizzou?
Yeah.
Having a lefty? I'm excited to see what he
I'm
can
excited.
do.
I mean,
I always liked him at Ole Miss, too, but obviously Chambliss comes in and just steals that. Wally Pips him. Just like Bo Prevula was Wally Pip. Well, he wasn't Wally Pip because he never started over Drew Aller, but he saw the writing on the wall, and he's like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, man. Mizzou kind of used to be quarterback, or at least backup quarterback U in the NFL, but they used to be quarterback U. They were pumping out guys every year. Then they had a little bit of a downturn there for a minute. Then Brady Cook came in, and Brady Cook, I loved Brady Cook, just the way he played the game. He was a tough dude, team leader. This past year was just kind of a whirlwind when you lose your starting quarterback right from the get-go, and then Prabula comes in, and he does a really good job, but then he gets hurt. Then you're back to your then you're down to your third string.
I was excited
guy.
to see what Prabula could do. Now he's a Virginia Cavalier.
And he did play good.
Now he's off to
good.
Virginia.
You know, obviously it helps when you have the best running attack in the SEC with Ahmad Hardy and Robertson.
Can't wait to see what he does this year.
So, yeah, I'm hoping that they can, whoever they put in there, I'm hoping they kind of get back on that track of finding those high quality quarterbacks.
If there's one thing that was, I think, good for everybody that's a Kansas State or Missouri fan or Kansas, is seeing Indiana doing what they did. The fact that they were, they had more losses in the history of FBS going into the season this year, and they're now number 2 to sit around and turn around and win the national title in 1 year. It just shows you the power. And they didn't go overly spending either. Like through Neil, they're getting the money now. It's rolling in. You know, guys like Mark Cuban are giving Indiana a ton of money now, but they got rid of, I think they got rid of excuses for a lot of people with Indiana, because if you can win there, you can win at other places too. There's really no excuses for K-State, Missouri, or KU now when you see an Indiana do what they did. Well, literally out of nowhere.
It speaks volumes to how the kind of the old guard of college football, with the introduction and injection of NIL, how it is really, really starting to make it crumble. And we're back.
We're back.
It's really starting to make the NCAA and that old guard of it's got to be an SEC school. It's got to be a blue blood. In football terms, it's not a Penn State. It's not a Miami anymore. Yes, Miami was really good this year, but the Bamas and the LSUs. It's like Indiana out of nowhere had a great coach, great recruiting system, great NIL. Look what they did.
To me,
that means anybody can do that.
715 losses they have. They were passed this year by Northwestern, who's got 718. That's crazy to be one of the all-time losingest programs. And really, last year it was Signetti kind of started turning that thing around last year. Then he brings Mendoza in, and the rest is history. It makes you think about Cal, man. Cal fires their coach. They had Noel Williams on that team. They had Jack Indries, the tight end from Texas, on that team. It's crazy the amount of players that they had, and look what happened to them. Fire their coach this year because all their good players. And would you fire a coach when he basically lost all his good players?
Must not have been that great of a coach.
Yeah. We had brought him on, too, to talk about Noel Williams. But regardless, did you see Daniel Jones?
I have not.
Well, Daniel
What's
Jones.
What's the update?
Well, he signed, right? Daniel Jones. The funny thing is how stuck they are. He signed a 2-year, $88 million extension. He was a free agent, right? He comes in for 1 year to the Colts. He starts off 7-1, and then reality started to hit for the Colts. There's no more beating the bad teams like they did. And he gets this contract, And it's funny, like how quickly they sold out to Daniel Jones being the guy that you give up 2 first-round picks for a Sauce Gardner because you're dead set that Daniel Jones is your guy going forward. And keep this in mind, before Daniel played the Chiefs, the 2 previous games that Daniel Jones had, because things started to kind of fall apart. I know he got hurt there at the end of the year, but he threw 4 picks and had 3 lost fumbles. He turned the ball over 7 times in those 2 games right before they played the Chiefs. Like, he started to show who Daniel Jones was before that. But they hitched their wagon to him. It shows you how important quarterbacks are. And that's why, you find Justin Fields coming to Kansas City or wherever. He's got 53 starts in the NFL. But that's the bottom line. The quality quarterbacks, it's not even good 1 through 32. From like 25 through 32, it's crapshoots. And backup quarterbacks in this league aren't great either. I mean, there's a quarterback problem. Look at the draft this year. Maybe Mendoza, yeah, it's going to work out. But one of the better quarterbacks, Dante Moore, went back to Oregon. And Arch Manning was supposed to come out this year, but obviously he had some setbacks there earlier in the year at Texas, and it kind of screwed up the quarterback market for what you're going to have in Kansas City. But it just shows you how desperate teams are for quarterbacks. And now everybody's hoping that's the next Sam Darnold. Like, he's gotten to that point. He wins the Super Bowl. This was a guy, that never lived up to expectations with the Jets. You saw ghost on the field, and everybody wants that. It's why Mac Jones, who's still a 49er, still got another year of his contract. I still think a team makes a move and trades picks or something to bring in a Mac Jones thinking he's the next Sam Darnold. Because that's the way we do things. We see a quarterback win, and all of a sudden, that's what everybody wants.
It speaks volumes to how just because a quarterback goes to a bad organization and they don't turn it around doesn't mean they can't learn to play great quarterback in the NFL. Mac Jones and Sam Darnold are 2 great examples of that. They went somewhere, didn't work out. Sam Darnold, in fact, went somewhere, didn't work out. Was at the Jets. Was with the Panthers. Didn't work out. And then he finally gets a shot with a team that knows at least where they're trying to go. And look what he can do.
I mean,
Mac Jones, same thing. 49ers, great organization.
Yeah. And they did things. I know it wasn't just he put a good defense around him. He did things on offense as well. They were the 3rd highest scoring team in the NFL this year.
Exactly.
He had the leading receiver in yards this year, so he did his part as well. But with quarterbacks like that, typically I say you build up an elite defense when you have a quarterback, kind of a mid-range quarterback. But when you have an elite quarterback, you give him the weapons to succeed because the elite quarterbacks are special. They're different. You give them everything in their power to help them succeed going forward. Yes, Kansas City Chiefs, that means giving Patrick Mahomes actual weapons at wide receiver. They've addressed the Ken Walker behind him there at running back to be able to take some pressure off Mahomes, and I want to see how those guys work in unison. Like Ken Walker keeping that defense honest, or Patrick Mahomes keeping that defense honest where the safeties are more forward back because they're worried more about Mahomes than Kenneth Walker, and then they're concentrating on Mahomes, and all of a sudden Kenneth Walker goes off for 150, 160 yards because they're so worried about Mahomes throwing over the top of them. Well, he can't throw over the top of them if he doesn't have players to do that. Now, Tyquan coming back helps with that 4.28 speed going down the field, taking the top off the defense, going vertical 9 rounds down the field. Worthy should be doing that too.
Yeah.
That should be Worthy's role. And hopefully Worthy can go back to being Xavier Worthy because they're not getting that Xavier Worthy that you thought you had at the University of Texas. And I know he did other things too because he led that team in yards and receptions for 3 straight years when he was at Texas. So he can do other things. But that's his role kind of in the NFL. Get downfield, use that 4.21 speed, and take the top off the defense. That's where Rice was that intermediate guy. That's why it's so important for him to play because he was doing a lot of the Travis Kelce type stuff in the middle of the field.
I also think one of the biggest things you're going to see this year with the 2026 Kansas City Chiefs is that this is the longest offseason that they have had since, 2021?
Since 17?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. But they played 3 straight seasons going the farthest you can possibly go, winning 2 of the 3 times that Super Bowl. This is the first time that they haven't made the playoffs since 17. This is the first time that they'll actually get an entire offseason of rest. They played an entire extra full season more than anybody else in the NFL over the last 3 years. you're going to see a difference going into this. I just think that was one of the things from this 2025 team. I think they got tired, man. I do. I think it was a multitude of reasons, but I think that one played a lot bigger part than people know. When you're basically a year older than everybody else and that year more of wear and tear on your body catches up to you at some point, and it finally did.
It's no more evident in the NFL because you hear the players all the time talk about they don't even like playing Thursday night, right?
Exactly.
It runs them out of their schedule. But now if they're going to do the 18th game, they weren't wild about doing the 17th game. They didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But then you have guys playing through week 17, 18, 19 games a year. You have these teams playing, through the AFC title game or the Super Bowl. They are playing more. And I know that through draft picks and free agency, you're getting guys that aren't the core. But when Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones, they played them all. Like they've played that whole extra season. They have that wear and tear. And yeah, it probably starts to grate on you. And you can't do a lot of things you're used to. And keep in mind, it affects the whole organization. Because when that happens, Blake, you're drafting at the end of every round. You're drafting at the end of the first round. So you're not getting, quote, first-round players because usually teams only have 14 to 20 first-round grades on players. So when you're picking at the end of the first round, in a lot of people's eyes, a lot of GM's eyes, you're technically getting a second-round pick, even though it's at the back of the first round, which is still important because you get the fifth-year option. But when you're picking at the end of every round, things change. That's why there's so much expectations on them this year because they have pick 9. They've got 29. So you got your pick at the end of the first round where they're used to drafting, but now they got that one early sitting there at 9. It might not be the best of years to be number 9, but it is what it is.
I mean, you get an early pick. I'd rather have a year where you've got at least one early pick to kind of replenish your stock. Then, even if it's not the best draft, which we've heard plenty of from you and other people, I still think you're going to get better talent at 9 than you might have next year at 31.
Sure.
So I'll still take it. If I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, that's why this year I think is so crucial for Veach and all those guys to really hammer down. They've had a lot of time to focus on it too. This
what
goes
affects
hand
everything.
in hand.
It affects coaches going out and watching players and the whole scouting process.
It goes
Even
hand in
your
hand
scouts
with
do
that.
You're picking at the end of every round. You're always handcuffed by this. And to go to 7 straight AFC title games by constantly picking at the end of the first round when the draft is the lifeblood of your organization,
that's a feat in itself.
It's why teams don't do it. That's why you see teams win the Super Bowl and then show up in the back of the milk carton the next year. They don't consistently do it each and every year. And that's why the Chiefs doing this stretch of games. It's crazy. 7 straight AFC title games. Blake, in my lifetime, I saw the one in 94 in Buffalo. Wasn't alive with, the 70, the 69, 70 years, the dominant early, wasn't alive then. The only AFC title game in my lifetime was when they got blasted in Buffalo. That was it. It was all we had. Then you had 6 straight at Arrowhead. You had 7 straight total. I mean, it's insane, the world that we've been living in, but that's what happened when you get that quarterback. That's why everybody wants that guy. Everybody wants the Mahomes. Everyone wants the Burrow. Everybody wants the Josh Allen. Everybody wants that Lamar Jackson. I've mentioned a bunch of good quarterbacks, but only one's won it.
I was going to say, you mentioned a lot of guys, but does anybody really want those guys?
It's a lot of guys, but only one that's won it. So anyway, I digress. Come up next, the Royals and Rodgers put out what the rotation is going to be. It's very similar to basically what we thought the rotation was going to be anyway. And I'll let you know who's going to start at Kaufman when the Royals come back from Atlanta.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by A.B. May. Trust A.B. May to keep your home warm. For 0% interest for 72 months on select heating and cooling systems, call 913-732-9993 today. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible, plus the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself and Rob Bretton on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
At Busey, banking is about more than numbers. It's about relationships. For over 150 years, we've been helping individuals, families, and businesses reach their goals with personalized service and local decision-making. Whether you're opening your first account or planning your next big move, we're here with the tools and support to help you move forward with confidence. Busey Bank, your partner for life's moments, both big and small. Member FDIC.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Yo, Harvey, Zoe, group selfie.
Ooh, nice new iPhone 17, Drewski.
Let's do a triangle formation. I'm in front.
With a center stage front camera, everyone fits in the shot.
He got it at T-Mobile.
But switching takes forever.
Not anymore. Now you can switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
Focus, people. Nail your pose.
And you get a new iPhone 17 on them.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way, guys. Switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
I'm grabbing my phone and switching to T-Mobile right now.
Get back, Harvey. We're taking a... let's go again, y'all.
With 24 monthly bill credits, finance agreement, 256 gigabytes, $830, eligible trade-in, example iPhone 13, and new qualifying line, $60 plus per month plan with autopay plus taxes and fees. For well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. $800 via virtual prepaid card. Card typically takes 15 days after rebate submission, no cash access, and card expires in 6 months. Check out in 15 minutes per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Tip off for the Kansas Count Baptist game, 9:07 now. So we're getting close to Kansas playing, and we're getting close to Missouri. Missouri's at the same time, 9:07 as well. Where they get 9:07, but 9:07 for the Missouri game, 9:07 for the Kansas game. I still hate that when these teams are, I like to watch them, all the locals. Hate when they're on at the same time, even though you just sit there and, but just to consume it all, when they're on at the same time, it's like,
Now I either have to go to a sports bar, or I've got to have one on my phone, one on my TV, one on my computer, doing all my electronics all at once.
It's like football because I like to watch them all, the Missouri, Kansas, Kansas State. I always hate when they're like two of them on at 11.
Yeah.
Or if they're all in the evening slate at the same time. It's always kind of nice when they're spread around to different times.
Are you a multi-screen guy?
I am.
Yeah?
Especially
What do you do it on? What's your setup?
During football, is usually 4 screens for 4 different games. And then if you need an extra, it's usually the computer and or the phone. The split screen, you do 4 boxes, and you can flip which volume you want on, which game you want on to have the
Get
volume.
the red line around the watching box.
Yeah, that ESPN Plus thing is really helpful too, by the way.
Ooh, what is it?
So you can watch the ABC. You can watch all the games. But that's
I had
pretty helpful as
ESPN
well.
Plus a long time ago, and then I must have got a new card and it canceled my subscription. So
It's good. It's good for football. By the way, Ian Rodgers from MLB.com, who joined Josh Vernier yesterday, put out the tweet about what the rotation will be, the order of it going through. Cole Reagans will start opening day, of course. Then Michael Wacha, followed by Seth Lugo. He's the one that's got the question mark, man. He's not been the same. He's blasted in the WBC, and once he signed that contract, remember, he became a different dude. Not only is the best. And then Chris Bubich will be your home opener starter for the Kansas City Royals, followed by Noah Cameron. So for 2 straight years, this pitching staff has been incredible.
I mean, obviously, I think a lot of people think that the Reagans really has a chance to be a contender for the Cy Young this year. I mean, he already was before the injury.
Oh, yeah, sky's the limit for this dude. And by the way, they sent Luinder Avila and Steven Cruz to Omaha, which
they'll be back up.
They'll be back up. But that pitching staff, relief pitchers in Omaha, pretty sick. Pretty good staff up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cruz is going to take up a step up this year, and Avila in the WBC for Venezuela looked fantastic.
But they'll be back. They'll be back soon. But anyway, Kansas and Missouri get going here very, very soon. Furman and UConn, that game will be at 9:15. Oh, by the way, the UCF game in UCLA is very, very tight. 72-69 at this point with just 8 seconds left. This one's over on, I don't know which one this is on. I don't know if it's TNT or my little guide doesn't tell me exactly where this one is because the other ones do. But for some reason, this one's not telling me where it's at. But it's a 3-point game between UCF and UCLA. Well, thanks for Vern joining us. Of course, Vern in action next Friday night. You can hear Vern's first post-game and pre-game next Friday night as the Royals take on the Atlanta Braves. We're having the watch party that you can come out at Maloney's out here in Overland Park. So if you want to do that. So thanks to Vern for coming on. Thank you, Blake. Always enjoy my Friday evenings with you, my friend.
Always, brother. Always having a good time with you. Shooting the stuff on a Friday night, rolling into our weekend, setting it off right.
Well, UCLA now 73-69, so they must have hit a free throw in this game, wherever the hell it's at. I got them on flip.
I got a commercial break going right now on mine. So
anyway, enjoy the games this weekend. Enjoy it. We'll talk to you on Monday.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by AB May. Trust AB May to keep